I felt were all predicated by not having Porzingis in there. He changes things. He changes the whole geography of what Boston does if he can be effective tonight off the bench.
Yeah, if he can play the way he played in Game 1, and who knows? I mean, he hadn't played for 37 days. I didn't expect anything even approaching what he did in Game 1. They have had trouble, the Boston Celtics, defending Dallas inside. Now, it hasn't been classic post-ups. In Game 4, a lot, it was just Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving beating their one-on-one defenders and repeatedly getting into the paint. Luka should have more trouble if Kristaps Porzingis is there. But still, going back to Game 1, Kristaps and Al Horford played so well, and it was still a positive element, paint points for the Dallas Mavericks. So this series, it's been very difficult to predict what's going to happen. I just want to see a competitive game. I want to see a good finals game. I thought this finals was going to be a 6 or 7 with a whole bunch of competitive games. We really haven't seen that.
Well, Luka certainly met the challenge in game number 4, and Kyrie Irving, he will be the target of these Celtics fans as he was the first 2 games. George Sedano with us as well. And George, the Celtics are favored tonight to win the championship. It would be 16 years in the making and a culmination of the 7 years for Jason Tatum, who is missing one thing, and that's the ring.
Yeah, Kesty, and PJ alluded to that pressure, and that was a discussion point with him and Armalika Andrews earlier this week. And Jason said to her, I know people tell me that they want this championship for me for various reasons, but trust me, as much as you may want it, I want it 10 times more than that. So he knows what it takes. He knows all the chatter. He hears it, and he's ready for it, according to him in his conversation with Malika, Kesty.
Well, George, the Larry O'Brien Trophy has made its way from Texas to Boston. The question tonight, will the Celtics win their 18th title? If they do, it would be celebrated on their famed parquet floor for the 11th time. Or will Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving find a way to get this series back to North Texas for Game 6? We'll find out. Game 5 is coming up in just a bit as the sellout is still filing in. For now, back to Kevin Winter, Monica McNutt in the studio.
I've seen pictures from Causeway Street, Kesty. It is an awful lot of green and white. They have our hot ticket, Kesty, PJ, and George, brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. You get great deals on the hottest tickets. Experience it live. Boston is a 6.5-point favorite tonight, according to ESPN Bet. Your total is 210.5 with more on Game 5. Here's ESPN Radio's Evan Cohen.
All right, thank you, Kevin, along with Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen with you on Sportsmanlike tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern. Game number 5 tonight in Boston. The sense of urgency, Smalls, for the Celtics is there tonight, up 3-1. But needing to close it out.
I know Jason Tatum's post-game comments after Game 4 lead us to believe that the sense of urgency may not be there, but I don't know how it can't be. I think that even though the Mavs won handily by 38 points in Game 4, that the Boston Celtics close it out at home tonight.
Absolutely. I think the Boston Celtics get it done. I want to see the graduation that Jaylen Brown talked about at the end of Game 3 come out in Game 5. We saw them spit the bit in Game 4, an emotional letdown in terms of their overall performance. I anticipate them bouncing back. How could you not after being embarrassed on the road? But I do think also critical to the outcome of Game 5 is what version of Kyrie Irving shows up in this series. I mean, 28 points combined in the first 2 games down there in Boston. And look at Dallas. He had 56 points in the 2 games in Dallas. So which version of Kyrie Irving shows up is going to go a long ways to determining the winner of Game 5.
Storylines galore. Kyrie Irving, as we just mentioned, in terms of his reaction, obviously going back to Boston yet again, where he has not performed well. The urgency around Jason Tatum. Will Luka not complain for a second game in a row? We'll find out coming up. We'll discuss it tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern here on ESPN Radio with Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen. Now back to Kevin Winter in the studio.
Evan Canty, Michelle, thank you. One thing Dallas was able to do besides punk Boston in Game 4, the others we talk about, they got going. One of them is P.J. Washington. He spoke with George Sedano and P.J. Colissimo.
By the way, my favorite player in the league. I like the name an awful lot, so I'm a huge fan. How different, I know the trades, that's the way the league operates, but I mean, you haven't been here that long. Go back with me, like when you first got here, what you thought it would be like, and now fast forward a few months, what it has been like.
Yeah. When I first got here, I just tried to come in and just try to set myself up on a defensive end and just hang my hat on that end. And I think things just took off for us. Obviously, we started rolling, and then we ended up here. So things have been going great, and I'm just blessed to be in this situation.
What was the key to, I know it wasn't a lot of games, but still what you shot in the regular season and how come you're shooting so much better from the three in the playoffs?
I think, in Charlotte, I shot a lot of butt-to-back threes. I didn't get really a lot of corner attempts. So when I got here, it was kind of different, and I just tried to come out and work on that, and that's something I've improved on since I've been here.
P.J. Washington with us here before Game 5 of the NBA Finals. What worked for you guys in Game 4 that maybe didn't work previously to that can translate to Game 5?
Our defense. We were suffocating that game. We took it personal, and we were a lot better on that end. We didn't let them get off a bunch of threes like they usually been getting in the past couple games during the series. So just being aggressive on that end led to our offense being good.
Did you feel you got better looks, like there were more threes? I mean, I know a lot of people played, and you guys all played well, so the minutes weren't as high as they'd been. Were there more good looks in that game on the offensive end?
Yeah, I think we were just playing free and just shooting the ball whenever we felt like we were open. So just trying to take open shots and shooting them with confidence for sure.
It also felt like you guys really had a consistent effort of getting into the paint, whether it was Kyrie, Luka, even you guys as cutting or whatnot. Was that a point of emphasis, considering that has been something that they've given up throughout the playoffs?
Yeah, they try to make us take tough shots, take tough twos, and our guys just got in the paint and got every shot that they wanted to get, and it kind of got us going, got our rhythm going, and it made it easier for us to make our threes, seeing everybody live in the paint.
All right, last one. What is the most important thing for you guys to get back home for Game 6?
Staying together, playing free, and playing with our backs against the wall like we have nothing to lose.
All right, there's P.J. Washington. The Dallas Mavericks don't. That mentality worked for Game 4. Will it work in Game 5? We approach tip-off coming up next at NBA Countdown, presented by SoFi. We'll give you the keys to the game. We'll let you hear from both head coaches. How does Jason Kidd's team replicate their performance, and how does Joe Mazzulla get his squad back on track? That's next. You're listening to Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hi, I'm Jason Alexander. Or as you probably know me, Royal Flusher 25 from WSOP. And you'll love these poker tips.
Poker tips with Jason.
Poker takes real courage to know when to quit. I'm out. Oh, but it's your turn to pay for the pizza. Send them out! The WSOP tournament is on, and you can enjoy the thrill on your phone.
Download the WSOP free-to-play app and get 1 million extra chips using this promo code WSOP1M.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's Silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/play and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/play.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
The time to talk about whether it's Tatum's team or Brown's team is over. And I think there was a legitimate belief
on the part of people who really knew the situation that was a thing once upon a time. But the most important word in that sentence right now is was. I don't think it is a thing anymore. I think they have figured it out. They have worked it out. They have come to a place where they're comfortable with each other, with their roles. I think Jaylen Brown still feels underappreciated. He has every right to feel that way. I don't think Tatum feels like it's got to be his show. They look to me like guys who have arrived in a place where they realize that their best way of winning is to be a dynamic duo, and that's what they are. There isn't a Batman and a Robin. They are Batman and Batman, and I think that works. And because it does, I know we thought we'd seen the end of NBA dynasties. I'm not sure we have.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. Chris Carlin, Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Carlin versus Joe.
Does the big fella have a power rankings for donuts?
2 words, Krispy Kreme.
So number 1 is a glazed donut?
Yes.
All right, I'm just trying to keep in mind.
You know what? Stay out of this. Because if you don't understand the difference between Krispy Kreme and a glazed donut, then I'm going to question your Americanism.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80. This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
22 minutes away from tip-off in Game 5. Kevin Winter with you. Monica McNutt at the TD Garden in Boston. Celtics lead the finals 3-1, but Monica in Game 4 when they got absolutely drubbed by Dallas. Wasn't just how well Dallas played. Boston was brutal offensively. That ball stuck on offense more times than it had probably at any point this postseason. How does Boston avoid that from happening again tonight? Because if it does, we're going to Dallas for Thursday.
Well, one thing that has been key for both teams, Winter, is the play in transition, right? And when the ball is moving up and down the floor, it can't be stuck. And I think that bleeds over into the half-court set. I thought that you saw the Celtics begin to press as individuals instead of trying to strike back against the Mavs as a team. They were bobbling the basketball, they're missing layups, they're frustrated. So tonight, it's very simple. This team has done a great job of moving the ball all season long. They just need to get back to who they are and understand that to a degree, you take what the defense is giving you. Yes, they are all capable of going into their one-on-one moves and beating the defender that's in front of them, but that is after you've moved the ball sufficiently to find the best matchup.
22 minutes away and the crowd is already juiced up. Let's hear from Celtic head coach Joe Mazzulla, who spoke with PJ Carlissimo and Mark Kestisher.
Kevin, thank you. Joe, when you have a result like you had on Friday night, do you throw it away, or is there something you can learn from any game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the strengths of our this team this year was whether we've won or lost. We've always found things that you can get better at and found things that went relatively well. So that's kind of just you have to stay balanced throughout the process of winning, what goes into winning. And, so, yeah, there's definitely some things we can learn from last game.
You're better at looking ahead. I mean, we've seen that, with you for 2 years and learning from things and being positive, and this is what we have to do. Is it a fair question if there was something that disappointed you or concerned you the most, an aspect of your game from Game 4, what would that be?
Nothing. I think what would disappoint me is, something like that happened again in Game 5, or if we don't learn from our mistakes. I think that's part of the journey, is having a perspective and understanding and having the humility to know it's just not always going to go your way. And there's another team on the other side that's fighting for their lives as well. And, they're trying to do something. They're trying to win as well. So you have to have respect for that. And it could be easy to tear your team down when in reality you got to have the respect for your opponent and build them up. I thought they played really well. And, so I think that's the biggest thing is how do we respond to that? That will determine kind of who we are and what we're about. And I think that's something that we've taken pride in throughout the year.
In one sense, a lot of it was Derek Lively, who is obviously a very, very gifted offensive rebounder, period, but especially offensive rebounder. But you guys play the same way and have had enormous success. You're the best defensive rebounding team in the league all year. Does the switching just put you in matchups some nights, or is he just that much of a handful to deal with on the offensive glass?
I think it's both. I think that's something that he does really well. I think obviously switching you're subjected to a little bit more offensive rebound. But throughout the year, no matter who's been down there, we've had guys that have been able to keep guys off the glass. So we just, anytime you're in situations like that, you got to go back to the fundamentals. You got to go back to the details. You got to go back to the margins, the little things that you've been able to do over long stretches of time and get back to doing those.
Having been on the other side of 3-0 as you were last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. Does that give you any unique insight into kind of the pratfalls of being on the other side?
I mean, you can't. Obviously, they're obviously playing with, a little bit more freedom. Hey, it's 3-1. That's kind of how we felt, but you don't really know what they're going through. I think at the end of the day, you just use any experience and anything that you've been through, whether it's one game. How do you handle a win? How do you handle a loss? How do you handle a series? So I think just using the experiences of all of our guys have been in throughout their careers and through this season to prepare us for the next game.
Joe Mazzulla yesterday with Mark Tessinger and PJ Carlesimo. Kevin Winter with you, Monica McNutt. Monica, let's start to look for the Dallas side. Something you harped on before Game 3 as the scene shifted to Dallas. You said Dallas needs to pick up their pace. Well, they have. It resulted in a blowout winning Game 4. How do they continue to do that?
Well, I think that they've got to be locked in. One thing that, again, I mentioned this earlier, Winter, was P.J. Washington talking about them playing free and loose. We've talked endlessly about pace, right? Like, if you don't know any key from this ball game, you know that one of them is pace for this Dallas Mavericks squad. When they are focused, it encompasses all of that, right? Luka had a monster game in Game 4 in terms of him responding. And by the way, Winter, I did relay the message to our buddy Brian Windhorst. It freed up Kyrie, right? But when those two guys are playing well, it frees up the role players to play with tremendous confidence. They had 60 points in the paint. They outscored the Mavs in transition. Luka only gave up 5 points as a primary defender versus Celtics. All of these things were clicking at the highest level, and granted, to a degree, the Celtics to some degree let go of the rope. So if the Mavs come in and can maintain that level of focus, I would like to see a battle of both of these teams at their best. They're going to have to be aggressive on the glass and in the paint. And if Luka is focused, I believe everything else from there will trickle down.
And two things you can do with pace. Number one, if you're playing with pace, Dallas can play free. And number two, when Boston is hitting virtually nothing like they were to start the game, that allows Dallas to get off the 34 points and lead the first quarter by 13. That's what happened in Game 4. Jason Kidd speaking with Mark Tessinger and PJ Carlesimo on how this happens again.
Kevin, thank you very much. Jason, coming off one of your most dominant games and certainly in the nick of time, is it a blueprint kind of game? Can you manufacture any of the effort defensively that we saw on Friday night?
Well, that's the goal, but I think that the big thing to look at is we've gotten better in each game, 1, 2, and then 3, learning from our mistakes on both ends, offensively and defensively, and then putting it all together in Game 4, and now we got to be able to do that on the road.
Jay, how much went into before the game? I mean, what you did in the paint, especially in the first quarter and the first half, was incredible. I mean, it seemed like they had no answer whatsoever, and you just kept repeatedly attacking them inside.
Yeah, I think as a coach, you can tell your players over and over that to take advantage of the paint, eat the paint, take the layups. Sometimes it takes players a little bit longer to digest, but I thought Kai and Luka did an incredible job of penetrating and getting to the rim. And then I thought Exum, with the pace that he played with, being able to get the ball up across half court with 21 or 20 on the clock, we played faster, and I think that's going to be something that we got to do here on the road too.
There has to be a nice word for it. I don't know what it is. You don't fit the bill, the superstar players, which you were. And then we always call the others. We try to come up with some goofy name to talk about anybody that's not an all-NBA player. You're not all NBA players. Almost to a man, every one of them played well. Do you think like there's actually something to that for players that maybe aren't counted on to do that night in and night out? Can that translate when all of a sudden they have a really good game, shots are going in, they play the best they've played in the series? Is that something they can take with them to the next game?
Yeah, I think it's the big question is, does the game travel? And so understanding that we got to come to Boston, we got to find a way to win. But I thought D. Jones was great. I thought D. Live being able to give us second or third opportunities on the missed shots or being able to put it down, and then he showed his range of being able to make a three. But I think just our players that are not all NBA, I thought were comfortable, and you could see that on both ends, offensively and defensively. And we got to be comfortable. We got to be desperate. And the group, bought into that in Game 4, and we're going to need it for Game 5.
You just mentioned D Live, known as Derek Lively, your rookie. He did bring that major spark off the bench for you in Game 4. Are you taken by his maturity and IQ at age of 20?
I am taken back a little bit. It's just amazing as when you talk about a 20-year-old, Derek Lively, and then just the things that he's been through, not just on the court, but off the court, and, the loss of his mom. And he comes to work with this spirit of enjoyment, happy, great to be around, loves to be the protector of his teammates. And so it's just been incredible to get to know him. We're coming up on the NBA draft here in, I think, 10 days. It's almost been a year, and to see his growth from last year's draft to where he is today is incredible.
Jason Kidd helping us plug the NBA draft next Wednesday night, by the way, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN Television. Jason Kidd yesterday, Monica McNutt. While we were listening to Kidd, Kristaps Porzingis just made his entrance like a WWE superstar coming out of the tunnel to save his buddy or a heel. Let's get to your keys to the game. Pick a side wherever you want to go. Boston leads 3-1. How do they wrap it up? How does Dallas send us to Big D for Thursday for Game 6?
All right, so, winter. Woo. Let me tell you this, though. Being here in the arena, the team came out, the energy shifted a little bit, but the Kristaps Porzingis moment was the biggest shift. It's tense in here. Obviously, Boston is filled with smart fans. They understand what's on the line. It was tense in here until Kristaps Porzingis came on the floor, so we'll see just how much he is available. All right, so 2 main keys. Ball movement, like we just discussed, for the Boston Celtics. If they move the basketball, they will challenge this defense that had a terrific showing in Game 4. Defense can be fantastic, but unfortunately it is always at the disadvantage of the offense knowing what they want to do, right? It's reactive. So Boston, I like to see them move the basketball. I think rebounding is going to be a key. We talked about their fewest offensive rebounding percentage in Game 4. And then I'm going to all of the hustle stats, because to me, the hustle stats indicate whether the Boston Celtics are locked in as a team. They had 6 loose ball recoveries in each of the first 3 games, and then they only had 3 in Game 4. And so same kind of thing when you talk about deflections. It took a big-time hit in Dallas compared to what they've seen here at home in Boston. So the hustle stats, to me, will indicate that this team is locked in at every level.
You mentioned... Go ahead. Sorry, go. No, go.
On the other side, if I go Mavs, again, we're going to pace. They got to get over 100 points so they don't have a chance. That's just straight up what it's been in this series, right? So they got to play with pace. I think paint scoring is also a key. They had 60 points in the paint. They had 62 earlier in this postseason run, but that's right up there with their best performances in the paint. Do I expect more resistance in this game? Yes, because we all know Boston to a degree let go of the rope, but they still need to understand the power of being able to play in the paint, whether that's Luka and Kyrie attacking or them getting out in transition. And then I'm going to go to the three-point line, and this probably could be a key for either team. Boston really hasn't shot lights out yet. They're shooting just under 34%, and finally we saw in Game 4 the Mavs start to hit a couple of different corner threes. Tim Hardaway comes up into garbage time, hits those 5 threes in a quarter. Steph Curry holds the record at 6 in a quarter. But how will the three-point line play into the momentum and the energy for the Dallas Mavericks?
I'm thinking of 2 people. A, Sam Hauser, small for Boston. He had 3 threes. He's been a disaster. And then Tim Hardaway, you're right. Does Jason Kidd go to him? McNutt, you and I will talk at the half. Coming up next, appreciate it, my friend. Enjoy the first half. Coming up next, we kick it off. It's Game 5 of the NBA Finals here on June 17th. Game 5 is next. This is the NBA Finals exclusively on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
The Philadelphia 76ers have their problems on their own. I mean, outside of Tyrese Maxey, I don't think that they have anybody under contract going into next year. So your team needs to take care of their own business. They got plenty of cap space to do it. They've got to make some smart moves. Daryl Morey in that front office. The other thing is, Joel Embiid, you got to stay healthy because right now the process is on life support. Why should I believe that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to have anything to say about the Boston Celtics competing for championships when the Sixers can't get to the damn conference finals? And I get that Embiid missed a lot of the season. Apparently, he also missed the fact that Nikola Jokic won MVP this year, not him.
Right.
So he is not the MVP.
Good one.
Nikola Jokic is the MVP.
Absolutely right.
So I guess that's the what Embiid said. His comments kind of give me the ick. Like, you got enough problems to worry about.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, will Jason Tatum and the Celtics close out the series, or will the Mavs be able to force a Game 6? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
With the first pick, the Atlanta Hawks select
The Cap. At the NBA Draft, it's been a symbol, connecting the greats
to the hopefuls of today. It's a life-changing moment, no matter where you're from or when you're drafted.
The next generation of stars in our league.
So put on the cap and step onto the stage, because the future starts here. The NBA Draft, now a 2-day event, June 26th and 27th on ESPN and ABC.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
It says a lot about the Los Angeles Lakers that you are willing to put the keys to this kingdom in the hands of someone that's never been a head coach before at any level. And that's not diminishing or demeaning J.J. Redick and his basketball acumen. But that Laker mystique is now a myth, and it's been a myth for a long, long time because they don't know who they are.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
If you're at the U.S. Open, after what we all saw this weekend, specifically yesterday when it comes to Bryson DeChambeau winning that major, whether he won it or Rory McIlroy lost it, to me it's immaterial. If you're the PGA Tour, do us all a favor. The next time a major happens, please microphone up Bryson DeChambeau. Talk about a guy that not even a year ago, maybe even less than that, was maybe the most unliked person on the PGA Tour. Golfers didn't like him. Fans didn't like him. The media was kind of ambivalent towards him. But just seeing him this weekend, not only having fun at the gallery, having fun playing golf, playing to the camera, but not minding each and every bit of that. It wasn't fake. It wasn't canned. It was Bryson DeChambeau realizing, I got a personality. This tour needs it. They need a lot of it. I'm going to use that to great effect. So the next major PJ, mic up Bryson DeChambeau. And by the way, you're welcome. Yeah, the Celtics are still feeling pretty good. I know the NBA Finals, the way they got taken apart in Game 4 on Friday, they're still up 3-1. They should be feeling pretty good about themselves. But do a little what-if game here with me, Freddie Coleman. What if they lose Game 5? What if all of a sudden they go from having a stranglehold on this series to only having a 1-game lead in this series? How nervous do you think not just that team, but that city is going to be? Jason Tatum had the, we lost Game 4, give Dallas credit, because Dallas played the more desperate team. If you're the Boston Celtics, you better play like the more desperate team in Game 5, because if you don't, then everybody's going to be nervous. Not just the Celtics team, not just the Celtics organization, but everyone in that great city of Boston is waiting for this for more than a minute. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman.
Intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the NBA Finals.
Bounces it to Luka, cuts inside, goes for the layup and scores it and one.
Luka just played physically. He didn't settle for deep step-back threes with a hand in his face against these matchups. He got physical. He got into the paint. He got what he wanted.
Luka, three-point line, free throw line, off the window and in.
The most important thing is to show that we believe. I think we showed in Game 4. If we wouldn't believe, we probably wouldn't won that game. So obviously the talk is easy to talk about it, but then showing it is another thing. So I think we showed it.
Kyrie Irving into the lane, flips it up with the right hand, lays it in.
We got a chance to accomplish one of our goals, which is to make it back to Boston. So we have another goal in front of us, and that's to make it back to Dallas.
To Horford against Irving, finds the cutting Brown with the layup.
We're going to see how and why, exactly where, the game was won and lost. And then we take those experiences and then we come out and we play like our life depends on it, because it does.
The 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio is presented by Indeed. Hiring this year? Visit Indeed.com/credit. Now from TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, alongside PJ Carlesimo and George Sedano on the sidelines, here's Mark Kestisher.
17 banners hang over our heads in the rafters of TD Garden. It was 16 years ago. This date, the last time one was unfurled, and on a wire-to-wire dominant season, the Boston Celtics will get their second crack at their first championship since 2008, and tonight a shot to celebrate on the famed parquet floor as we welcome you to Boston for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. PJ, Game 4 was the most important game of the season for Dallas. Game 5 might be the toughest. This crowd is juiced up. Causeway Street in front of the arena was a wild scene. We're told the average sell price to get in was $2,000, and those lucky enough to have tickets, I've been watching. They've been in their seats for the last 15 or 20 minutes. This place is crammed and ready to go.
And the city has been alive. Everybody's wearing Celtic jerseys, or at least green pants, green shirts. They got their Celtic hats, gigantic flag outside our hotel, no question. But all that adds up to is a little more pressure on the team. We'll see. Will they be able to relax and perform the way they have all year?
Well, we talked about it 72 hours ago. Can the Mavericks bottle up what they did fourth quarter game 3, where they had the comeback that fell short? Luka fouled out. Game 4, where they dominated, and now have to do it on the road, where these Boston Celtics feel like they're going to be rejuvenated tonight here at home.
Well, they've won their last 5, Boston here, and historically, the last couple of years in the playoffs, it's been a struggle. Not this year for the Celtics. The mantra for Dallas has been simple. We got to win one road game, this one tonight. We got a game 6 coming at home, and then if we get to a game 7, anything can happen. It's, one and done. You don't know what'll happen if you could get to a game 7. So you play all kind of mind games. Fortunately, those mind games are over very shortly.
We're going to get to your keys in a moment. First, the biggest and loudest ovation on a loud night already went to Kristaps Porzingis, who has missed the last couple of games, been dealing with multiple injuries. For more on KP, here's George Sedano.
Thanks, Kesty. As we know, Porzingis dealing with a left leg injury. That also, in addition to the right leg injury that caused him to miss 37 days after the Miami series in the first round. Boston coach Joe Mazzulla says that Porzingis has progressed beyond being, quote, not quite ready as he was in Game 4. Mazzulla adds he expects to see Porzingis tonight. No minutes restriction, Kesty and PJ.
It feels, PJ, like Game 1, where we didn't know, no minutes restriction. And he came in, and he was a difference maker in Game 1 to get this whole final started off the bench.
Yeah, he was. I think you're going to be greedy if you're looking for him to do that more than one time, but who knows? He surprised us with a 37-day layoff. This should be no problem at all for Kristaps.
We'll have the starting lineups in a moment. First, let's get the keys to Game 5 with PJ.
For Dallas, 3-point defense and 3-point offense. Boston has 20 more threes in the finals than the Mavs. That's a 60-point advantage. Rebounds and second chance points. Dallas is almost 7 boards more a game, more than 2 offensive rebounds a game. So they've had 31 more second chance points. They need to dominate Boston on the glass again. For Boston, where they have struggled, they're number 12 in paint points allowed in the playoffs. There's only 16 teams in the playoffs. Celtics allowed 60 paint points in Game 4. Dallas is a plus 66 for the finals. Boston's got to do a lot better, but it all comes down to threes. Boston undefeated, 9-0 in the playoffs when they make at least 15 three-point shots.
Give you the starting lineups for Game 5. They'll be very familiar sounding for both teams. The visiting Dallas Mavericks will have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Irving finally ended a personal 13-game losing streak against Boston on Friday, but he has lost 7 straight in this building, and Doncic is averaging nearly 29 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists so far in this postseason. Front line of P.J. Washington and Derek Jones Jr. Daniel Gafford will get the start in the middle, and we expect Derek Lively off the bench in short order as he has the last few games. For the Celtics, 64 wins, best record by a mile in the NBA, and a 15-3 postseason working. Had their 10-game postseason win streak snapped in Game 4. We'll have Derek White and Drew Holiday in the backcourt. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown on the front line, and Al Horford will make his 15th straight start. It's his 180th career postseason start, and he's number 2 all time in the amount of games played without winning a championship, second only to Karl Malone. And this, PJ, is going to be the 107th playoff game combined where Tatum and Brown played together. They're now going to be all alone in third place on that list, and they hope they're 48 minutes away from a championship.
And I hate to say it, Kesty, whatever they've done so far, as great as they've been, it hasn't been enough. They got to hang a banner. That's all that matters in Boston.
Well, we're looking to the ceiling above us. 16 banners unfurled. The last 16 years ago tonight, 2008. Our officials for this Game 5. Zach Zarba officiating his second game of the finals. He had Game 1. John Goebel and Bill Kennedy are the second and third officials. Both were in Game 2 of this series. Celtics in the green unis, Dallas in the white. The ball is up, and Al Horford wins the tip, and Boston has the early control going left to right as we watch it courtside here at the Garden. Derek White will settle things down from the left wing, has Kyrie Irving defending, up to Tatum up high. Jason one bounce, now bounces it into the lane to Holiday, who flips it up and gets the roll. And those are the first points of Game 5.
Celtic roll, it bounced about 4 times on the rim.
Celtics 8-2 here at home this postseason. 5 straight wins. Pass to Luka Doncic, nearly came to the near left sideline. Luka had to chase it down, already shot clock at 12. Luka at the three-point line, steps back, fires, around and out, missing as Tatum gets the rebound. Luka Doncic only 25% from 3 here in the finals as Jaylen Brown received the pass in the left corner, and Luka had to grab him to slow him down from driving baseline, and the first foul will go against Doncic.
And you couldn't ask for more than that. Luka misses a shot and gets a personal foul on the first possession.
Jason Tatum will inbound from the far left side. 45 seconds into game number 5. Jaylen Brown receives the pass, goes to Horford out on the right side, back up to Brown, will back up onto the Celtic logo. Gafford will defend him about 10 feet off, so Brown's going to take the long three, missed it, baited him into the long triple, and long rebound to Doncic. Luka on his horse, and White from behind steals it away. Luka never saw him coming. Here's Brown on the other end, 2-0 Boston. Over to Tatum on the baseline left, spins on Kyrie, leans in, missed it, rebound loose. Kyrie tried to grab it, stepped on the baseline, out of bounds to Boston.
And Luka's motioning over to the Dallas bench saying if anybody yelled, somebody was coming from behind. I couldn't hear it, but you bounce the ball 7 or 8 times, somebody's going to come from behind.
Inbound to Brown, it's a catch and shoot. Long ranger missed it, loose ball foul against Boston as Holiday gets the foul defending Luka Doncic. And that's the difference because we saw that a number of times the first 2 games. So loud in here, Luka couldn't hear the guy coming from behind or anyone trying to help him out verbally.
Yeah, particularly early in the game. And Drew Holiday goes aggressively to the offensive boards. He does that a lot, so not surprising he picks up the foul.
Kyrie Irving has it. Dallas looking for his first points. We're 90 seconds in. Irving harassed out on the left by Holiday. Now he's picked off. It's a switch on White. Gets off a 3. Missed it off the back iron. Hits the iron on the way down, and Horford grabs the rebound. Outlet to Drew Holiday as Dallas is opened 0 for 2. Holiday from the left, hands it off to Brown, drives into the lane. He's walled off by Gafford, so he spins, fades, fires, miss, and P.J. Washington has the board.
1 for 5 for the Celtics, Kesty. I'd say both teams look a little tight.
2-0 Boston, 2 minutes into Game 5. Doncic now has Horford, who's been a really good defender. Now a step-back 3 from Luka's off the mark, and Tatum has the rebound. Outlet White, half court, accelerates on Washington, down the baseline right. All the way under the baseline, has to pass it out on top. Finds Brown. Now to Tatum on the drive. Kicks it back to Holiday. He'll drive on Luka. Stops him at the dotted line, peeling off with 9 to shoot. They'll flip to Tatum. It was Kyrie on him. Now back to Holiday, who drives and scores. Very patient offensive set by Boston.
Drew Holiday has all the points in the game.
4-0 Boston. 9:20 to go here in the first quarter. Here's P.J. Washington from the left. He'll lob it down to Gafford. Gafford, power move underneath, has nothing. Derek White taps it out with 5 to shoot. Doncic has it. Doncic sends it over to Derek Jones Jr. for 3, another miss. Rebound all the way to the free throw line. Last touched by Boston out of bounds. Mishandled by Brown, and Derek White tried to save it as well.
Kesty, I don't know if Dallas has attempted a 2-point field goal yet.
They have not. 0 for 4 from the field, all for 3.
All 3.
And no pace either. Boston's winning the pace battle. Inbound to Doncic. Flips it up for Jones, who grabs and flushes the alley-oop for the Mavericks.
Really good pick and roll. Excellent pass from Luka.
Their 58th alley-oop. That's only their 4th in the finals. That's how good Boston's been defensively against that. 4-2, Celtics lead by 2, 8:45 to go in the first. Tatum loads up a 3, missed it short and wide left, and it caroms out of bounds to the Mavericks.
I'll repeat what I said, Kesty. Both teams very, very tight. As you might expect, in a clinching game in the finals.
Boston's second chance to clinch. Dallas trying to do what nobody's done. They trailed 0-3. They got one in the win column now. Here's Kyrie from the left, drives into the lane. Holiday knocks it away, a steal. Numbers Boston 2-on-1. Holiday from White, layup. Yes, 6-2 in favor of Boston.
Can I amend my statement? Everybody except Drew Holiday is tight.
Drew Holiday 6, Dallas nothing. Here's Doncic trying to get it going. Off balance, wanted contact, didn't get it. Loose ball rebounded. Horford and Gafford have their mitts all over it. And it'll be a jump ball, says Billy Kennedy. Our official.
Well, that's going to keep Derek Lively from checking into the game because he's reporting for Gafford. When these two jumped to start the game, Kesty, Al Horford stole it on the way up. It was barely out of Zach Zarba's hands.
Right.
And he stole the tip. We'll see what happens here.
So the shot clock had been reset to 24. That might be the issue here because Zach Zarba's not throwing the ball yet. Checking with John Goebel if there's a change of possession. Now Goebel's going to come over and inquire about the shot clock. And it looks like it's going to hold at 24.
What they're saying is that Al Horford had possession of the rebound, and then he was tied up. So that's why they're saying a new 24.
Horford wins that tip again. And Tatum has it in the backcourt. Boston will bring it up, leading 6-2. Derek White with 8 minutes to go in the first. Gives to Jaylen Brown, drives from the right into the lane. Finds Tatum in the left corner. Tatum drives and kicks to the top. Brown. He'll dribble inside. Stripped to the ball. Gafford got a hand on that one, and Washington brings it up the other way. Drives against Tatum. Lost the handle momentarily. Doubled. Out to Doncic. Luka on the drive. Luka into the lane. Behind the back. Finds Jones for three. Missed it off the rim. Tap up nearly went down for Gafford, but wouldn't fall. 6-2. Boston. 7.5 minutes into the first. Horford lines up a three. Yep. 9-2 Boston, and Jason Kidd going to call a timeout here to the glee of the sellout at the Garden.
Dallas really having difficulty getting on track. 1 for 8 from the field. More surprisingly to me, Kesty, 0 for 5 from three-point line. They also have 2 turnovers. Drew Holiday showing the way for the Boston Celtics.
Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving 0 for 4 to start the ball game, and with 7:26 to go in the first. Celtics 9, Dallas 2. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Hi, I'm Jason Alexander. Or as you probably know me, Royal Flusher 25 from WSOP. And you'll love these poker tips.
Poker tips with Jason.
Poker takes real courage to know when to quit. I'm out. Oh, but it's your turn to pay for the pizza. Send him out! The WSOP tournament is on, and you can enjoy the thrill on your phone.
Download the WSOP free-to-play app and get 1 million extra chips using this promo code WSOP1M.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
ESPN and ESPN Plus.
I'm
Kevin Winter with Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio. Don't forget to log on to our social media accounts at NBA on ESPN Radio to vote in the AutoZone In the Zone poll question. Who's going to get in the zone for this matchup? Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, or Jaylen Brown in the zone? Brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone with AutoZone. Although for the Celtics, they probably should amend that with Holiday and Horford. Marquez is sure back to you, PJ and George.
All right, appreciate it, Kevin. Let's check in with George. He's behind the Mavs bench.
Kesty, the Mavs coaching staff was urging their team offensively to set higher ball screens and to make sure they ramp up the pace. They feel like their pacing has been too slow. Back to you.
And PJ, Derek Lively and Josh Green coming into the Dallas lineup out of the timeout.
Well, they got such an enormous lift, the Dallas Mavericks, from their bench, so I'm not surprised. The way the starters are going, Jason Kidd just wants to mix it up a little bit, and he certainly wants that pace that our George Sedano just talked about.
Boston saying with the starting five, it'll be P.J. Washington, the ball handler, harassed as he gets across half court against Derek White. Dallas has opened the game 1 for 9 from the field. Doncic with it, up high, and a whistle off the ball as Lively was trying to cut by Jaylen Brown. The rule from John Goebel is that he grabbed him, and that'll be the first on Brown.
If anything, the referee's trying to set a tone early. Any kind of contact has been called quickly.
A freedom of movement call there as Doncic gets it in to Lively, the 7-1 rookie from Duke, who was a spark plug off the bench in Game 4. Doncic now has it up high, crosses over on Tatum, drives into the lane, stops, wait for Al Horford to get off his feet, gets hit, and puts it in. A veteran move for Luka Doncic, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
That's where the majority of the paint points came in Game 4. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving driving by their defenders. In this case, Luka beat Jason Tatum, and then he came to a jump stop and his pump fake. Al Horford bid on the pump fake, and Luka with a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
First points for Luka as he eyes the free throw where he has struggled in this series, and he connects. Three-point play. Doncic cuts the Dallas deficit to 4. 9-5 Boston. We're under 7 minutes to go, opening quarter. Celtics a chance to clinch up 3-1. Here's Tatum feeding inside. They go out to Horford. Now to White. Scissor kick jumper, no good from 10. And he got fouled as he was hit by Kyrie Irving. That'll get the crowd excited as Kyrie commits his first. There you go.
That possession started with the Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday pick and roll. They've already hit Drew Holiday twice, rolling to the basket. That time, instead of shooting the layup, he found D. White. What is that noise, Kesty?
That would be Kristaps Porzingis getting off the bench, and he'll enter the game between free throws as the first one is good. And here he comes, the 7-2 unicorn who played in games 1 and 2, scored 20 in the opener, 12 in Game 2, did not play in Games 3 and 4 after suffering the leg injury late in Game 2.
Both coaches going to their bench looking for an immediate lift.
Derek White hit the first free throw. KP the chant here at the Garden as White drains both. 11-5 Celtics. 6:48 to go, first quarter. We'll see how Porzingis, how he moves and how he might change things for the better for Boston in the middle. Kyrie dribbling from the right hand to the left hand up top. Now goes all the way to the left, sidesteps, a wide open three, halfway down, pops out, and Tatum pops the ball out to Brown.
Really good look from Kyrie.
Jaylen Brown high off the window on the drive, scores 13-5 Celtics. That is the first make for Brown, who missed his first 4. Luka harassed at half court, now dribbles out to the right, Holiday right on his hip. 6:10 to go, first quarter. Holiday's going to back him down in the high post. Out to Green, a three-pointer on its way and in. Josh Green, first shot of Game 5 is a triple.
Came in confident, knocked it down.
2 for 5 from distance in the finals before that shot.
Jason Tatum, the only Celtic to not score so far, Kesty of the starters.
Drew Holiday's got 6 early points, has it on the baseline left. A great move to get by Green. Missed the layup, though. Lively tips it, and Green has it for the Mavs. 13-5, Dallas down 5. 5:40 to go in the first. Green into the front court, gets it to P.J. Washington, who bounces it for Luka. I think he wanted a screen up high, but Washington walked away. So Doncic gives it up, gets it back, finds Green, same spot, topside three, same result. Back-to-back threes for Josh Green.
Little confusion there. Porzingis stayed with the ball handler and Josh Green was all by himself, Luka's always going to recognize the open man.
And so the Celtics had an early 8-point lead. It is down to 2, 13-11. Jason Tatum looking to get on the board. Drives into 2. Got blocked by Washington, and a jump ball from Zach Zarba. Washington had tied him up on the way on that block.
And I'm going to give Derek Lively like a third of the block also. Both guys were in on it, but it was clearly my namesake who got the block.
P.J. Washington, who came over from the Charlotte Hornets at midseason, jumps up, both whiffed at it. Second tip, it's still loose out to the corner. White's got it, authors a three and knocks it home, Derek White.
Fortunate bounce for Boston. Derek White took advantage.
16-11 Boston. Derek White, the most threes in the postseason on this Boston roster. 4:50 to go in the first. The red-hot Josh Green gives it up to Washington. He'll shoot a three. Back iron, long rebound. Jaylen Brown has it for the Celts. Brown into the front court, accelerates on Green, gets by and passes to the top Tatum. Tatum thought about a three, drives by Lively, hits Porzingis, catch and shoot, triples no good, and the long rebound. Hauser saves it out on the far left side to Tatum. Sam Hauser just in the game and a heady play there. Tatum on the drive, stopped by Luka, wheels, backs up, misses the jumper. Porzingis tapped it, but Luka has it for Dallas.
Jason Tatum 0-4 to start.
16-11 Boston. Mavs with it. Luka behind the back to Washington. Waits for the traffic to clear. Goes to Irving on the left. He'll put it on the deck. He'll drive. Pass down low to Lively. Makes the catch outside to Doncic with 7 to shoot. Luka drives free throw line. No look pass down low. Irving's got nothing with 3. Now wheels. Fires for Lively right at the rim, and he catches and dunks it. And Joe Mazzulla calls for time.
They may not have spent a lot of time in Durham, but that was one Blue Devil to another.
Duke on Duke crime together, leading the Dallas Mavericks back from an early deficit. Celtics still lead by 3, 16-13 over the Mavs. Timeout, 3:56 to go in our opening quarter of Game 5. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
Let's start with Bobby Witt Jr., who's one of the early candidates for the American League MVP. It feels like such a turning point for the Royals.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm David Dennis Jr., hosting ESPN Daily today. Every weekday morning, we bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today, on ESPN Daily, Jerry West was a basketball icon on the court, in the front office, even inside the NBA logo. But his was a path fueled by turmoil he never shook free of. Jeremy Schaap helps us memorialize one of the most complicated and successful figures in the history of the sport. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off.
We'd do anything for kids, yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. what you find.
Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Paid actor portrayal.
Dude, guess how much I pay for $1 million term life insurance policy?
Gotta be at least $150 a month.
Nope. I got coverage through Ethos all online for less than $70 a month and no medical exam. Just answered a few health questions.
That's impressive. I'm shocked you have life insurance.
Wait, don't you? You have a wife and kids. What if something happens to you? With Ethos, you can start your coverage the same day.
Wow. I'm sold.
Get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
I'm Kevin Winter, inside our Granger studio. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. (16-13), Boston by 3. Kristaps Porzingis has entered the game, but every time Dallas has attacked him on the offensive end when KP's playing defense. Our guest this year, PJ Calissimo, George Sedano, back to you guys in Boston.
All right, Kev, Celtics had the early 8-point lead down to 3. Let's check in behind that Boston bench. Here's George.
Interesting that Kevin brings that up because I was in the Boston huddle and they were telling Porzingis to take advantage of Dallas's switching defense, to pick his spots and be aggressive in those situations. Kesty.
Appreciate it, George. And PJ, this was a deathly start for Dallas, but Josh Green comes off the bench and helps ignite him.
Well, he made the first 3. They started 0 for 6 from 3. Then they've been 2 for 3 since then. From the field totally, Kes, they started 1 for 9, 4 for 6 since then, but it's the three-point shot that's really helped them. Both Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum struggling.
Celtics have missed 10 of their first 16. They have it out of the timeout. Derek White offers a 3, missed it long, and Maxi Kleber into the game first time has the rebound for the Mavericks. Down 3, and Luka Doncic at the controls, attacking to our left. Switching defense, Hauser against Doncic, rides him to the top of the three-point arc, and now he asks the rest of the Mavericks to start moving. Here's Doncic to the elbow, one-legged fader is good, and the Mavericks are within 1.
Really good job by Jason Kidd settling his team down. Dallas now looks so much better than they did first 4 minutes.
Porzingis has the much smaller Kyrie Irving, attacks him into the mid-post. Secondary defender Green came over and got a piece and a whistle, and it looks like John Gobel's going to give it to Green. Josh Green committing his first personal foul.
Yeah, Kyrie's telling his teammate, don't chop down. Make him make the jump shot. The last thing you want to do is put him on the line. So far this series, KP has been excellent from the free throw line.
And in the postseason, he's only missed once, 19 of 20. A muted postseason with all the games that he has missed. And there's the announcer jinx as he hits the first of 2 for Kristaps Porzingis, who played 134 games with the Dallas Mavericks.
And played well. Averaged 20. They were in the playoffs twice. So much is made of the fact that, it didn't work out there. Kristaps Porzingis played pretty well when he was wearing the Maverick uniform.
Splitting the free throws, Kristaps Porzingis, 17-15. Boston leads. 3 minutes to go, first quarter. We have Game 5 of the NBA Finals for you here on ESPN Radio, wherever you may be listening. Luka Doncic free throw line jumper on its way, missed, and Jaylen Brown secures the long rebound. Outlet to Derek White, who looks over to Joe Mazzulla, the 35-year-old head coach, delivering the signals. White works it from the right wing. Now attacks Kleber, puts up a little runner, missed it, and Luka clears the rebound. Boston going ice cold from the field here. Their lead is down to 2, and now an offensive foul as Luka looked to get free. Derek Lively trying to set a screen, gets called for the offensive foul.
Jason Kidd bringing Dante Exum in. Exum played very well in Game 4. And yesterday when we talked to Jason Kidd, must have mentioned 4 different times how Dante Exum increased the tempo when he came on the floor. Jay Kidd wants it up and down the floor quickly, and Dante Exum made that happen in Game 4.
And we'll keep an eye on the shot clock, as he repeatedly said he was getting it across half court with 22 seconds, 21 seconds on the shot clock. And Jay Kidd going small here as Lively heads to the bench.
Yeah, biggest man on the floor right now is Maxi Kleber. You really don't consider Maxi a center.
And he's guarding Kristaps Porzingis, who's in that right corner by the Celtic bench. Here's Jaylen Brown from the left, tries a 3, missed it. High rebound, tapped out, Tatum's got it. Exum and Holiday both went for it, both went under the deck. Now they're up as Tatum drives down the left post, puts it up with the right hand, and scores for the first time in Game 5. 19-15, long court pass. Green made the catch, peeling underneath. They get it to Kleba on the wing, and Dallas going to reset here. 2 minutes to go in the first. Exum, they said, shoot the three if you want it. He'll take it, and he'll make it for a 49% three. You cannot leave him that wide open.
Almost the exact same spot where Josh Green came in and got things going for the Mavericks,
who have 3 for 3 off the bench between Green and Exum. 1 point game. Holiday feeds the cutting Brown down the lane. 2-hand jam.
Best looking offensive possession so far. The ball moved and players moved for the Celtics.
21-18 Boston. Minute 30 to go, first quarter. Shannon defense from the sellout at the Garden as Luka retreats all the way back near the sideline right. Pass to Kleba underneath Exum, who dribbles out with 7 to shoot. Exum on the three-point line, attacks the high post to Kleba. Good look at a three. Maxey missed it. Rebounded by Holiday. Kleba was terrific to start the postseason from 3, but has not looked the same with his injury. Here's Hauser on the other end, burying a 3, and Boston goes in front by 6.
Well, that was a tough shot, a dribble handoff out of the corner.
56 seconds to go. Luka's pass tipped by Hauser. Steal. Tatum lifts it for Brown. Brown makes the catch, turns around, scores right at the cup. And just like that, the Celtics lead is restored. They're up 8, having scored 7 in a row.
Sam Hauser knocks down a 3 and then gets a deflection for a steal.
Now Tatum takes it away at half court. Tatum on the drive, scores the bucket. 9 straight for Boston. Reminiscent of games 1 and 2 here in this building.
Terrible way to finish the quarter for the Mavs after they worked their way back into the game.
Luka down 10, passes out to Kleba. A long 3 on a 2-for-1 misses. And with 25 seconds to go in the quarter, here come the Celtics. Jaylen Brown stops on the three-point line, gives it to Tatum. About 3 seconds difference on the shot clock and the quarter clock. Tatum holding near half court. 9 to shoot. Tatum dribbles toward his left. Near the hash mark. Inches up to the three-point line. Takes the triple. Missed it. Washington has it with 3 seconds left. He'll give it to Exum with a second to go. Exum won't get off a shot. And what a close to the first quarter for the Boston Celtics, up 10.
Only points in the last 3:24 was that Dante Exum three-point shot, Kesty. Celtics did it with defense, a couple of steals, a really tough Sam Hauser 3 coming out of the corner. And again, both coaches have looked for and both coaches have found some answers on their bench.
Celtics score the last 9 points of the first quarter, 28-18 over Dallas after 1. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. The luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. When you wear Tommy John, you're much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John's Silky Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, guys love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Plus, your most valuable assets are covered with Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Cure or prevent any disease.
I'm Kevin Winter, inside our Granger studio. 12 minutes complete in game number 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio. Boston closing the first on a 9-0 run. They lead by 10. And the Celtics just held the Mavericks to their lowest scoring quarter of the series. 18 points. Kesty, PJ, George, back to you at Boston.
All right, thank you very much, K-Dub. And it was a 1-point game there, and then all of a sudden, 9 straight for Boston to end. Let's check in behind the Mavs bench with George.
Kesty, Sean Sweeney, their assistant head coach and defensive coordinator, basically was telling the guys when it comes to Drew Holiday, guys, you either got to body him up or let him go through and let the next man get him and work his way through the traffic, but you can't just let him have a free rein to it every time.
Appreciate it, George. And PJ, the turnovers really fueled that closing surge.
Boston, no turnovers. They put up 28 points, and Dallas, 4 turnovers that led to 6 Celtic points. Atrocious three-point shooting. Both teams, Celtics 2 for 11. Celtics 3 for 10, 3 for 12 for Dallas.
Boston also almost had a turnover to start the second quarter.
They had trouble inbounding the ball against token pressure.
Here we go, and Kyrie Irving, the pass to him, poked away by Hauser, chased into the backcourt by Kyrie. The shot clock's already at 4. Down floor for Jones, rides his way all the way to the rim and scores against Brown.
Terrible looking offensive possession, and ends up in a layup. 16-6, by the way, Kesty, paint points in the first quarter in favor of the Celtics.
28-20, Celtics lead. We're just underway, quarter 2 in Boston. Jason Tatum operating from the left wing. Derek Lively shadowing him across the arc. Finds Hauser, shoots a 3, and makes another. Sam Hauser couldn't buy a 3 in the conference finals, and yet here he is. 3 in game 3, 4 in game 4, and 2 here to start game 5. 31-10, Boston. Cross-court pass to Derrick Jones Jr. on the left, 10 to shoot. Jones stops the dribble, finds Kyrie, who's plastered against the left sideline, harassed by Holiday. Now Irving drives into Tatum, flips it up high and in. Kyrie Irving finally gets his first bucket.
There are layups and 4 paint points to start the second quarter for Dallas.
31-22, Celtics. 90 seconds into the second quarter. Can Dallas's defense get going again? Boston has had its way of late. Tatum from up high. Now drives Lively into the painted area. Passes out to Brown. A corner 3 on its way, and down it goes for Jaylen Brown.
5th assist already for Jason Tatum.
And that's a 12-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Irving driving into the teeth of the defense. Takes on Hauser. Misses the short jumper. Horford's got it for the Celts. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Horford stops the dribble, gives to Brown on the right wing. Brown's going to attack Washington, who tried to slide step and stay in front of him, but commits the personal foul as called by Bill Kennedy.
Kesty, just to put the first quarter to bed, finally, 11 bench points for the Dallas Mavericks, 4 for the Celtics. Good production from both benches. Sam Hauser's already tacked 3 more on here in the second quarter.
Tatum will inbound from the right sideline, gets it into Jaylen Brown. Brown with 9 points here in the first half after a slow start. Works at the top, Horford high screen. Brown lets fly from 3, missed it wide left, and Lively has the carom off the backboard. Gives it to Irving. Cross-court pass to Washington. His three-pointer's up, no good. Rebound contested, Lively, an offensive board. Dallas thrived on those in game 4. To Doncic, thought about a step back on Porzingis, gives it up, gets it back, rocks back, fires the 3, missed it, weak side, Tatum has it for Boston.
Good contest by KP.
Brown into the front court on the right wing, and a foul off the ball. Porzingis ended up on the deck. He's talking to P.J. Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. civilly as the sides part on the hard foul. P.J. Washington pulled him down and gets called for the foul. That's his second. The crowd just saw how P.J. Washington just kind of dragged him and disposed of him onto the court.
Yeah, it's one thing to be physical, but you got to be smart. That's 2 fouls already on P.J. Washington.
And 2 team fouls on Dallas as Boston inbounds from the side into Tatum. 9:15 to go. First half. Tatum loops it to Porzingis. 1 dribble, goes up, short jumper, gets the roll. Porzingis with his first field goal off the bench.
Kyrie was defending him on the switch. They took advantage of the mismatch.
14-point lead for the Celtics. Kyrie Irving dribbling up high, right side to Doncic. Luka 3 for 4 to start. Fighting through the screen nicely is Brown to the top. Luka with a right-hand dribble, being forced out beyond the stripe. Inside to Kleber, just spun on Holiday and easily laid it in.
Quick double on Luka. He found the open man. It was Maxi Kleber.
12-point game, Celtics lead. Jaylen Brown outside to Tatum. Jason drives. Irving right on top of him. Stops the dribble, goes to Holiday, left of the circle, 10 to shoot, reloads Tatum, bounces against Kyrie, puts it up, got the whistle call, and will go to the line. Jason was already arguing for that whistle before it finally was blown.
Yeah, he didn't really have control of the ball. He was looking to get fouled. Kyrie's upset. We're watching the replay. There was contact. Kyrie came down just a little bit with his left arm instead of maintaining verticality.
That is the second foul on Kyrie Irving. It'll put Jason Tatum to the line. Tatum 2 for 7 to open the game. He hits the first free throw. But, PJ, you pointed it out a couple times in this series when he has not been hitting his shots. He has been a playmaker, and he's got 7 assists here in the first half.
Guest and 4 boards and a steal. So Jason Tatum doing a lot of things other than putting the ball in the basket.
Tatum hits on the first of 2. It's a 13-point game, trying to restore the 14-point lead. Up and in for Jason Tatum in his 113th postseason game, looking for his first NBA title. Irving pulls for 3 and hits. The net barely quivered that time on the triple by Kyrie. 38-27, Boston's lead cut to 11. 8:10 to go in the half. Holiday puts it up and puts it in, a three-pointer from the right wing. That was a quick answer by Holiday, who got off to a quick start. He's got 9, and on the Dallas drive, Kyrie Irving got fouled. Ends up in the arms of his former teammate, Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I got a foul on Kristaps. I'll tell you what, that ended a 1 for 19, if you can believe that. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combined 1 for their last 19 three-pointers before that make by Kyrie.
It was remarkable that they won as big as they did in Dallas in Game 4 when those two shot so poorly from outside.
But they were so good from the paint.
Yes, they were. Inbound, Jones, Derek Jones Jr., a 3 right in front of the Dallas bench from the left wing, and Dallas will try to claw back into it down 11.
Both teams heating up a little bit more now from the three-point line.
7:40 to go, first half. Tatum guarded by Kleber on the three-point line. Kleber stays in front. Tatum goes right to left on the dribble, crosses left, spins in the high post down the lane, layup off the glass and in. That was all Jason Tatum that time, who's got his third field goal.
Well, this is such a great ISO team, especially Brown and Tatum.
13-point game as Jones drives hard into Derek White, foul called right at the cup, and that'll be 2 free throws coming up for the Mavericks.
Both teams, Kesty, very similar. They're attacking the rim almost every possession, and when they haven't been able to finish, they have earned trips to the free throw line.
They called that foul on Jaylen Brown, so add him to the list of players with 2 fouls, the first Celtic with 2. Derek Jones Jr., who's playoff average of 9 points per game cut to under 6 here in the finals, and he misses on his first free throw attempt.
This is badly.
Dallas has struggled at the free throw line here in this series. Boston's been shooting it well from outside. Dallas in the finals, 70% from the line.
Again, they're 16th and last in the playoffs. The 16 teams in the playoffs, they were 27th in the regular season. They're not a good free throw shooting team.
Jones looked good there. Hits the second. He's up to 8.
And Kesty, that's despite having Kyrie, who's like a 90%er, and Luka's high 70s.
43-31. Celtics lead by 12 in possession. 7:10 to go. First half of Game 5. Tatum at the top. Now accelerates right by Lively. Trying to get by Kleber. Puts it up. Hangs on the front rim. Falls through. And 1. Tatum heating up. And the Celtics have a chance for their largest lead of the first half.
Little mini team meeting by the Dallas Mavs. 5 white uniform Mavs standing under the rim saying, we've got to stay in front of the ball handler and we have to stop fouling shooters.
Now, this is a 180 for a Celtics team that struggled mightily in Game 4, struggled against a terrific Dallas defense, and they'll see if Daniel Gafford can offer some rim protection now as he comes in for the rookie Derek Lively. Boston point paints, PJ, now 22-12.
Complete reversal of what happened in the last game, Kesty. They've been dominated in the paint in the first 4 games, even with the 3 wins, Boston.
Remember, Tatum got off to a sluggish start. He's up to 11 points now. Made both free throws. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists for Jason Tatum. Boston, 15-point lead. Luka in the game, drives 2 slow steps down the lane, got the whistle, not able to convert from point blank. And he'll go to the line as Tatum gets called for the foul.
Well, we got a timeout. JT's looking to maybe challenge. I do not think they will. again, the pattern continues, Kesty. Drive the ball to the rim, make the shot, or get fouled and shoot some free throws.
And with 6:56 to go in the first half, the Celtics have a 46-31 lead over the Mavericks. We'll step away from the Garden. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Hi, I'm Jason Alexander. Or as you probably know me, Royal Flusher 25 from WSOP. And you'll love these poker tips.
Poker tips with Jason.
Poker takes real courage to know when to quit. I'm out.
Oh, but it's your turn to pay for the pizza.
Send him out! The WSOP tournament is on, and you can enjoy the thrill on your phone.
Download the WSOP free-to-play app and get 1 million extra chips using this promo code WSOP1M.
Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio.
Do you think that we are watching the best version of Jason Tatum?
Yeah. You live in America or Brazil?
I live in Brazil.
Well, that's probably why you asked that question, and then the American ones did, because they look at the lens differently. America, nothing's ever been enough.
Okay, I don't need the perspective on life from a 35-year-old guy in his second year as a head coach. Everybody in America hates basketball.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
Hembo, could you identify the very, very famous cover from that album?
I think there's like 4 or 5 gentlemen crossing a street.
Do you remember how many Beatles there were? Like the expression Fab Four has never reached you?
No. I was more familiar with the Fab Five.
The people crossing Abbey Road were not Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and Juwan Howard and Jimmy King and Ray Jackson.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, will Jason Tatum and the Celtics close out the series, or will the Mavs be able to force a Game 6? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
I'm Kevin Winter, Insider Granger Studio. Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio. Back in Game 4 Friday night, Jason Tatum and the Celtics got punked. They had to move on.
Just not to harp on it too much. Like, it happened. We can't change what happened. We always say you lose by 2 or you lose by 30. Like, they all count the same. But we do need to be better. Like, we're not making any excuses. We need to be better, and we will. We will be better.
All right, define better. How's 53% from the floor, 6 of 14 from distance, and 11 assists on 17 made baskets. Boston by 15. Mark Kestisher, back to you at the Garden.
All right, Kevin, we're going to check in with George Sedano behind that Mavs bench.
Kesty, Jason Kidd and his staff employing his team defensively to do a better job defending the 3 and also not trying to go one-on-one with Tatum so much.
And PJ, 6 for 7 Boston shooting here, including 3 triples in the second quarter.
Yeah, they really heated up. I love the fact that both teams are attacking the rim, but also they've heated up. Boston started 1 for 4 from the three-point line. Since then, they're 5 for 10. So not just getting to the rim, but they're also knocking down shots. And Luka continues to struggle from the free throw line.
Just missed his first coming out of this timeout. He is now 16 for 26. 16 makes 10 misses in the finals at the free throw line. Normally a 78%er. Second one up. That one rockets out. No good. 2 misses by Doncic at the free throw line.
And he shakes his head in frustration.
Holiday getting deep on the drive. Deflected by Gafford. Tipped in the air, and Doncic has it for the Mavs.
I don't know if Gafford got the block, which he leads the playoffs in total numbers, but he certainly caused that miss.
Dallas down 15. Doncic working up top. 6.5 to go in the half against Hauser. Sends it over to Kyrie. Puts it up for 3. Missed it. Gafford, an offensive rebound. Had it poked away and out of bounds right by the Dallas bench as Hauser tried to rip it away. It'll stay with the Mavs.
Daniel Gafford very, very active tonight.
And so is Sam Hauser with a couple of threes.
Yeah, good point.
For Boston. And before we have Dallas sending it in, Jaylen Brown comes in for Horford.
Both benches really productive. 13 points for the Dallas bench, 9 already for the Boston bench.
Inbound Dallas to Washington to the rim for Gafford, who grabs and flushes with a right hand.
A rare alley-oop that wasn't originated by Kyrie or Luka.
That was forward to center alley-oop for Dallas that time. 46-33, still 13-point edge for the Celtics. Holiday skips it all the way across to the far corner. Hauser couldn't handle, though, and it goes out of bounds. An unforced error for Boston. That's their first turnover.
Yeah, exactly. Pass was a little bit high, but Sam took his eye off the ball. Had 3 lob dunks already for Dallas.
Who had only 3 in the first 4 games of the finals. They still trail Dallas by 13. Here's Kyrie going right to the cup. Underneath dishes to Gafford, who slams it with 2 hands.
Another assist for Kyrie, another dunk for the Mavs.
Who are down 11. Boston has it, 5:50 to go in the half. Tatum sends it right side to Brown against Luka. Drives to the high post, up top Holiday. Holiday inside the three-point line to Tatum. Bounces to Holiday, dotted line. Outside to White, left angle 3, no good. Tapped out, but right to Boston. Fresh 14 for Tatum. He's going to drive inside. Gets by Gafford and lays it in.
Another offensive rebound by the Celtics leads to another layup by the Celtics.
Tatum's got 13. The lead is 13 for Boston. 5:20 to go here in the half. Kyrie from the left, sizing up Horford. Tries to cross to the right, can't. Sends it over to the right side to Washington. On the drive on Holiday. Layup's good for P.J. Washington. Washington trying to fire himself up, barking as he heads down floor. Dallas down 11. Here's Holiday getting deep against Gafford. Missed it. Gafford able to get in the way that time. Washington the other end, bouncing to Jones, who goes up and under, lays it in into single digits now for Dallas, down 9, and Joe Mazzulla calls for time.
Jason Tatum with the last 7 Boston points, but more importantly, Dallas out and running. How many times did Jay Kidd tell us yesterday, Kesty, they needed to play with more pace and push the ball? They're doing just that.
8-2 run and all 8 points in the paint, more specifically at the rim with that pace as Dallas looks to claw back. Boston 48, Mavericks 39 with 4:53 to go in the half. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Jeff in Cleveland.
Man, I want y'all to know again, man, I love y'all guys, man. Y'all brighten up the guys' day, man. And Harry Douglas, man, you was the man. And Freddie Coleman, you and that laugh, man. Y'all guys just brighten up my day, man. That's what's so important, man.
We appreciate that call, Jeff in Cleveland, as a matter of fact. So, hey, anytime that you can spend 5 seconds with us, we'll take that.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Your favorite emotions are back on the big screen in Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2. And now it's the #1 movie in the world. Are we in a dream right now? Critics are raving. It's another Pixar classic. Inside Out 2 is one of the best movies of the year and one of the best animated films ever made.
We're going!
Don't miss the movie event of the year that is being called an unforgettable cinematic experience.
Time to celebrate!
Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
Celtics, it's essentially already unprecedented for a team to get this far and win so much and advance so many times in such a short time span and never win the whole thing. The East is never going to open up for them in the postseason like it did this year. You know, this is pretty close to like you kind of got to win this series and finish the job as a 64-win team.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th. So when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
We love the game because anything can happen. There's no sure thing.
How did that go in?
Every play,
Oh, my goodness!
every shot,
Are you kidding me?
every swing is a risk if you bet.
I can't believe that just happened.
There's no easy money. There's no luck. And no one wins all the time. If you bet, bet responsibly and always set a limit. Learn more at responsibleplay.org.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. Only 3 teams in NBA history have ever forced a Game 6 in the NBA Finals when trailing the Finals 3-0. Pretty much all remember the last one. That's the Seattle Supersonics in 95-96 to the Bulls. Before that, you're going to go back to the Knicks in 50 and 51, to the Royals. By the way, the Knicks forced the Game 7. The first team to do it was the Capitals against the Lakers. And the Lakers are in Minneapolis. Marquez is here. PJ Carlissimo, George Sedano, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Kev. We're going to swing it over to George behind the Boston bench.
Thanks, Kessie. Joe Mazzulla talking to his team about their lack of transition defense there the last couple of possessions, telling the guys, no layups, guys, no easy ones.
PJ, what are you seeing here?
Well, I'll tell you what, it looked like a switch. They had made a couple of threes, and then they started pushing the ball up and attacking the rim. Both teams doing a really good job. Both teams on the verge of foul trouble here in the quarter. Sam Hauser has really been productive for Joe Mazzulla off the bench. 2 for 2, a pair of threes. He's got 2 offensive rebounds, an assist, and a steal.
And he is still on the floor for Boston in those Kelly Green uniforms as Derek White works it into the front court. 4:40 to go in the half. 9-point Boston lead. Brown's now going to drive on Jones into a double, splits it, lost the handle, and had it knocked out of bounds by Dallas.
Kest, how about if I told you that Luka and Kyrie are third in scoring for Dallas? Derek Jones Jr. has 10. Josh Green has 6.
That never happens.
Kyrie and Luka have 5 each.
They're fortunate to be only down 9. Here's the inbound to White. Deep corner 3 is not there. Hauser able to tip it out to the perimeter to Holiday. Feeds Hauser, checks his feet. Let's go for 3 and missed it. That would have brought the house down if he hit it. Lucas got the rebound. How about Sam Hauser from Green Bay, Wisconsin, getting it done here in the first half of Game 5. Luka working it, 4:15 to go in the half. Dallas trying to come back down 9. Long pass down low to Gafford. He's triple teamed, had it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Mavs with 8 to shoot.
Yeah, the Celtics stayed with Luka on the double team a little longer than normal, but Hauser did a good job rotating over, denying the pass to the roll man.
4:10 to go in the half. Short shot clock for Luka, who'll inbound baseline right. Fires it outside to Washington. PJ on the drive. Stops. Ducks in under Hauser. Oh, he traveled. They'll wipe the layup off the board. No points for Dallas.
Made a good move to go by his defender, but then took an extra step, and he pulled up for that short jump shot.
Yeah, he took that last step with the right foot after he used up all his steps. It takes a lot to do that in the league these days.
Yes.
Here's Brown on the drive. Gliding in. Layup no good. Again, Gafford getting in the way for Dallas. Contesting shots at that end of the floor. Here's Doncic on the drive. Fadeaway 10-footer off the mark and rebounded by Derek White. Luka is 2 for 8 here in the first half.
Kyrie's 2 for 7, Kest.
White drives through the painted area, sends it over to Hauser. Back to Brown in the high post. Now down on the left side, it's Horford. Gafford slaps it away. Horford gets it back. 8 to shoot. Al on the drive. Al puts it up. And Al scores. The 38-year-old Al Horford with the bucket.
Couple of bigs going one-on-one out of the left corner. Horford comes out on top.
11-point game. Luka on the floor on the loose ball. Tried to pass to the wing, but nobody's there. Kyrie Irving couldn't save it. And it's a turnover for the Dallas Mavericks. They're 6th.
Jaylen Brown knocked the ball loose. Drew Holiday dove on it, and Dallas unable to come up with it.
And Luka a little gimpy with that left knee after he dived onto the parquet floor as Jason Kidd calls for timeout here. Try to settle down the Mavericks. as the Boston defense got going late in the first quarter, and right now they got an 11-point lead.
Dallas keeps responding. It looks like Boston about to break it open a little bit. J. Kidd uses a timeout. This final 3 minutes and 11 seconds, Kesty, are going to be very telling for this outcome tonight.
Indeed, and we'll see if Dallas's defense get a little more protection in the paint. That's 4 straight Boston makes in the lane and at the rim here in this stretcher to get it up to 11 points.
Yeah, they're staying in the game with their offense, not with their defense right now, the Dallas Mavericks. And again, when you look, if you told me before the game, Kyrie and Luka would only have 5 each. One's 2 for 7, the other's 2 for 8. I know they're down 11. That's not good, but they're very fortunate with those kind of numbers from their 2 superstars.
Mark Kestisher, PJ Carlissimo, George Sedano with you. Monica McNutt, Kevin Winter, our studio hosts. And you talked about closing quarters. The last 90 seconds of the first quarter was a blitzkrieg by Boston, scoring the last 9.
Yeah, if they could do that right now, they'd really break this open. And I should, being fair to Kyrie and Luka, point out, Kyrie's got 5 assists. Luka Doncic has 4 already. So they are involving their teammates, but they're not scoring as much as we're used to seeing.
11 assists on 16 makes for Dallas, 12 for 19 for Boston, and Jason Tatum, who didn't have it going early, had 7 assists. He's got 13 points, though, 9 of them coming in this second quarter. 3 minutes to go in the half. Tatum has it. High screen as he drives to the top. Derek Lively, the rookie 7-1 center, is in defending Tatum. Tatum walks up to the three-point line, gets into the top of the paint, passes to Holiday down deep and scores. They did that time and again in Game 2.
Third time tonight, Jason Tatum has found Drew Holiday in the paint.
That worked so well in Game 2. He's got 8 assists. Jason Tatum here in the first half. 2:35 to go in the half. 13-point game. Washington drives, lost the handle, tried to shovel it to Lively. Body's on the floor. Lively landed on Derek White. Here's Brown on the other end. Up and under. Layup is good. And the Celtics restore a 15-point edge.
Defense again. They're forcing turnovers. 7 already for Dallas.
6 straight layups for the Celtics, who lead 54-39. Three-pointer up and in for Josh Green, who hit 2 early in the game. That's his third, and they're going to take a blood timeout. We told you that Derek White got the wrong end of a Maverick player landing on him, and I think he might have a cut lip here.
He certainly does. Trainer Patrick Chase out, taking care of him.
It was Derek Lively, who's 230 pounds, and his left forearm drove Derek White's face right into the parquet.
He literally hit the floor with his face.
He might have lost a tooth.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, that was a hard hit. Going to see what they come up with right here. Looking at the trainer Patrick Chase working on Derek White. It's going to be more than the trainer, I think. Before, fortunately, it's coming close to halftime.
And you get 30 seconds on a blood timeout, and so the referees will whistle the teams back out onto the floor. I don't know how many teeth we've seen lost in the Stanley Cup final as they make their way to Florida. Hopefully, Derek's got all the chiclets. In fact, he's okay because he's coming back into the game. Long 30 count for Derek White, as tough as they come, having a terrific season here in Boston, his second.
Again, the defense forcing the turnovers. 7 turnovers for Dallas has led to 10 points for the Celtics. Meantime, on the other end, you pointed it out, Kesty, 1 Boston turnover so far.
2:09 to go in the half. Celtics 54, Dallas 42. Boston is led by double digits much of the second quarter. Here's Tatum at the top against Luka. He backs up with 2 minutes to go in the half. Drives three-point line, free throw line into the lane, passes out to an open Brown. Catch and shoot from the right, goes down. Jaylen Brown with the 3.
The dynamic duo, JT to JB, 9 assists for Tatum.
Their 107th playoff game together. Here's Kyrie, ball deflected, it's loose, picked up by Boston. Drew Holiday and the Celtics looking for their biggest lead of Game 5. Holiday pass in the corner. Brown's got it. Thought about a 3. Against Doncic, drives him inside the arc, into the paint, squares and passes out to White. Derek's 3. It's good! And the lead balloons to 18 for the Celtics.
You talked about the first quarter blitzkrieg. Here comes a bigger one.
12-3 Celtics run, and with 1:10 to go here in the half. Dallas with a big number deficit, and Luka's going to take it right to the rack and score it.
Tough finish by Luka. He took a hit himself. Looks a little shaky walking up the court. Maybe he's just exhausted.
Doncic was 2 for 8 before that make. 16-point game. Pass to Brown inside. Outside White lost the handle, was trying to trigger the three. Irving saves it. Jumps right into the ABC television side. Our pal Dave Freed just got knocked down. Mike Breen, statistician, as Jaylen Brown gets fouled out on the right side. Trying to lay it up and in. Hopefully David's okay.
Did Kyrie come up yet?
Kyrie's coming up. Looks like Kyrie and Dave Freed are both okay, I hope. As Kyrie makes his way back out onto the floor after trying to save that ball on the far side.
Patrick Chase still working on Derek White right in front of us. Tim Corrigan, of course, our producer for ABC. They're going to have to probably submit some kind of payment for Kyrie. I mean, he was sitting with Mike Breen and Doris and JJ for a long time.
Does Dave Freed get the charge at least?
No, Dave Freed, he moved. I could tell. I call it a block for sure.
Wow. Well, fortunately, both gentlemen are okay. The Kyrie chants have come in different forms and colorful words.
Kesty, we talked about how Kyrie and Luka are not scoring. Yes, they're passing the ball well, but they only have 12 points as Jaylen Brown misses the first. Meantime, the dynamic duo from Boston, JB and JT, have 27 between them and also 11 assists.
Well, those guys at 10 combined after one quarter, so they've both come alive here in the second. You mentioned Brown missed the first, makes the second, 61-44 Celtics.
2-for-1 opportunity here for Dallas.
Here's Doncic, navigating his way to the front court, sends it to Washington. He'll light up the three, he'll miss it. Long rebound, Holiday's got it. 31 seconds to go in the half, about 8 seconds difference on the shot clock.
Boston with a three, we're looking at a 20-point halftime deficit, Kesty.
Here's Tatum, way back near half court. Luka waits for him at the three-point line, 8 to shoot. Tatum makes his way up, sidestep three on its way, and good! Tatum's second quarter assault continues. He's got 16, and the lead indeed is 20. 8 seconds to go in the half. Can Dallas get some points? Doncic on the drive, got the whistle, flips it up and in, and a chance for three for Luka with 4 seconds to go in the half.
I'll tell you, Kesty, in the NBA, if you do not manage the last possession and you leave 3, 4, 5 seconds on the clock, the other team is going to score. That's how good these teams are, and that's what happened. Yes, they made it 3, the Celtics, but they left too much time for Luka. He's going to answer with an old-fashioned 3 right now. But guess what? Still 4 seconds on the clock. Watch Boston coming back.
Tatum picked up the foul. That's his second. Crowd buzzing here at TD Garden. Doncic 9 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Right now it's an 18-point game.
30 paint points already for Boston. They had 26 total in Game 4.
It was a passive fourth game for the Celtics. Not so. Here to start Game 5. Doncic missed another free throw. Horford the rebound. Out to Peyton Pritchard, the specialist, from half court at the buzzer. Good! He does it again! Peyton Pritchard, late in the half, enters the game just for that, and he banks it home from half court.
Jaylen Brown has got a smile. He's saying, do you believe this? Joe Mazzulla puts Peyton Pritchard in. Everybody in this building knew he was going to launch a 3 from half court. Guess what? 4 seconds was plenty of time.
And that three-pointer by Peyton Pritchard, by the way, only has 2 3-pointers in the entire finals. Both of them are buzzer-beating three-pointers. One at the end of 3, this one at halftime, and it gives Boston its biggest lead, up 21 at the break. It is good.
Jack's not signaling a touchdown?
No. 2 arms up, three-pointer Pritchard, and that has ignited the sellout. The Celtics 2 quarters away from their 18th championship. We got a long way to go. Boston 21-point edge, 67-46 over Dallas. As we send it to Kevin Winter with Monica McNutt in the studio. Here's the AutoZone halftime report.
He played 4 seconds. That was his only 4 seconds of the first half. AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Monica joins me for the first half breakdown and a look ahead of the second half. Someone on social media said it's starting to feel like Game 6 in 2008. I'll ask Monica if it feels that way as well. Boston by 21, trying to clinch a championship. This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nothing but net. Good shots. Man, I miss playing basketball. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text BACK to 231-231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 231-231. That's BACK to 231-231. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Tatum makes his way up. Sidestep three on its way, and good! Tatum's second quarter assault continues. He's got 16, and the lead indeed is 20.
It would be 21 at the half after Peyton Pritchard does what Peyton Pritchard does. Kevin Winter with you. Monica McNutt back at the Garden on the AutoZone halftime report. You imagine being called into the game, Monica, to play 4 seconds and hit only one shot? That's what Peyton Pritchard just did.
Are you even sweating when you do that? Like, how does that go?
I don't know how this works. Couple of stats you wanted to talk about, Monica. You wanted to go for pace with Dallas. When Dallas was keeping this game within arm's length, they were getting their pace. But for Boston, we talked ball movement, 17 assists, Monica, on 25 made baskets.
And not just that. When you look at what Jason Tatum is doing, his team has shot 82% off of the passes that he's made. They've gone 9 of 11. That's the second highest percentage off of a single player's passes than any half of a finals game since our company started tracking that in 2014. Like, you talk about historic night, historic effort, 2 turnovers, 17 assists, to your point, dominating performance. The Celtics are completely locked in, and I saw via social media partner that JB said he wasn't going to let Luka get the ball back if he gave it up.
Well, it's not. I mean, let me ask you this, Monica. How is Boston holding Irving and Luka? They have a total of 14 points. Luka's got 9. Kyrie's got 5. Kyrie's had some noticeable slow starts in these first half of these playoffs, but they're a combined 6 of 18 from the floor.
Well, I think there is no real rhythm for the Mavs, right? Luka Doncic, yes, he has to score the basketball for this team to be successful, but he's being dogged by Jalen Brown, and whoever it is that's switching off is not slouching away from that defensive assignment. When it comes to Kyrie, so much of what he does in terms of scoring and getting into that layup package, he's got to get by that first defender, and usually he can get by that second. But tonight, the help in the rotation for the Celtics has been so good that those shots are incredibly difficult at the rim. And then just as a collective, there have not been very many release valves in terms of helping to create spacing for those guys. Green hit a couple threes, and that was cool. Derrick Jones Jr. got to the rim a couple times, but consistently, they've not been able to find their rhythm. And then we go back to it, right? On the defensive end, This is not a duplication of the performance that they were able to put up in Game 4. The Celtics have been rocking and rolling. 3 of 10 from 3 to start after the end of the first quarter, and then they go 7 of 11 in the second quarter. I mean, that is an absolute monsoon.
She's Monica McNutt. Kevin Orton with you. The AutoZone halftime report. Boston leads Dallas 67-46, 21-point lead here at the half in a potential clinch Game 5. What impressed me, Monica, and you can touch on this as well, Boston tried to take I don't want to call them settle three-point shots in the first quarter. It was the second quarter at their best. Drive, kick, space, move the ball. The relocation threes, that's when Boston is at its best.
Absolutely. And I think tonight we saw, you and I are texting, right? Oh, is this about to be a Drew Holiday game? Because he's the guy that can play within the margins. But then this entire team warmed up. They started knocking down shots that they've been missing. We talked about it. They've shot just under 34% on this series. Tonight, though, they're shooting 47% from 3, and so they have turned that switch on to what it was that made this team so great during the course of the regular season. So they've just got everybody involved. The energy, I think, from Kristaps Porzingis being on the floor buoyed this crowd for sure. And he really, he's played a total, 9 minutes? And so he wasn't really out there much, but it was just enough juice and energy for this team to turn it on significantly in the second quarter.
Give me a must for Dallas in the second half before this turns into Game 6 from 2008.
They're going to have to pound the basketball and get to the paint on the offensive end, but more importantly, defensively, they're just going to have to body up. They got to give it their all and leave it all out there. If they end up shaking these guys' hands at the end of this one and it's the end of their season, it can't be because they gave up a ton of open looks. They're going to have to contest everything and get on the glass.
McNutt, enjoy the second half. We'll talk to you for the postgame show. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks, Winter.
67-46. That'll do it for us on the AutoZone halftime report. We get you set for the second half in Boston in Game 5 next. You'll listen to the Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
If Luka and the Mavericks win this title, he does claim the rightful honor of being considered the best player in the league.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm David Dennis Jr., hosting ESPN Daily today. Every weekday morning, we bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today, on ESPN Daily, Jerry West was a basketball icon on the court, in the front office, even inside the NBA logo. But his was a path fueled by turmoil he never shook free of. Jeremy Schaap helps us memorialize one of the most complicated and successful figures in the history of the sport. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin Orton with you inside our Granger studio here on the AutoZone halftime report. Boston closed the opening quarter on a 9-0 run. You combine the first and second closing quarters, 3:30 of each. Boston outscores the Mavericks 31-12. They lead by 21. Second half is next. This is Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
We blinked, and 2024 is halfway over. What's something you've done this year that you're proud of? Keep up the good work with a moment every week to hit pause, set intentions, and reset in therapy. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy on a flexible schedule. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Take a moment with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/score today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/score.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVPs Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVPs Pro Rewards member? Join today.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring.
If you have open roles, chances are you're feeling this too. That's why you need Robert Half. Our specialized recruiting professionals engage with our proprietary AI to connect businesses of all sizes with highly skilled talent in finance and accounting, technology, marketing and creative, legal, and administrative and customer support. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nothing but net. Good shots. Man, I miss playing basketball. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text BACK to 231-231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 231-231. That's BACK to 231-231. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Horford the rebound out to Peyton Pritchard, the specialist from half court at the buzzer. Good, he does it again. Peyton Pritchard, late in the half, enters the game just for that, and he banks it home from half court.
The awareness from Al Horford to find the guy. Kevin Winter with you. That'll do it for us on the AutoZone halftime report. This nugget is for everyone because Boston Celtics coaches talk about closing quarters. In the final 3:30 of the first and second quarters combined, the Celtics outscored the Dallas Mavericks 31-12. They're halfway home to banner number 18. They lead by 21. Let's go back to the Garden for the call of the second half with George Sedano and PJ Carlissimo. Here's Mark Kestisher.
All right, Kevin, thanks a lot. Yeah, plus 19 in the first and second quarter closing. That has been a problem for Dallas defensively, but Boston, they have surged at the end of these quarters here in the finals.
They certainly have, but they also addressed, when we asked Joe Mazzulla was he concerned with what they did wrong, he said, no, as long as we correct it. They corrected it. Boston in the paint, 30-24. They only had 26 paint points in the entire game for. Boston three-point line, 10-6, plus 12 again. We're used to seeing that. Boston rebounds, 24-16, 6-3 offensive rebounds, 8-4 second chance points. All the areas they came up short in game 4, they've addressed. And we're not even talking about Boston Big 2 versus Dallas Big 2.
Yeah, you've got 31 points combined for Brown and Tatum, Doncic and Irving. 6 of 18. They've missed 6 of 7 combined threes for only a combined 14 points. Hard to beat Boston when they got 30 in the paint. 9 of their last 17 from 3 have gone down, and only 1 turnover in the first half. And low fouls, too. They only committed 7 fouls in the half.
Well, that's their MO. That's what they do. They defend without fouling. It's been a key for them all year, and so far tonight, they're doing it again.
Hey, while the first half was ending, we should point out Jason Tatum passed his idol, the late Kobe Bryant. Most points scored in the postseason by a player aged 26 or younger. 16 for Tatum gives him 2,696. 2 points clear of Kobe's 2,694. Remarkable run for a guy who's been in conference finals and now his second final just about every year of his professional career, now year 7. Second half getting underway.
We saw Dallas come back from 21 down one time.
In the fourth quarter,
exactly.
Nonetheless. This is the third quarter starting. Daniel Gafford, the center, being covered by Tatum. He's going to bull drive down the lane, missed the shot as Horford came over to help out. Tatum into the front court to Derek White on the right. Stops, feeds Tatum down the right post. Turns, spins, jumper, high arcer, no. P.J. Washington secures for Dallas. Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, the backcourt for Dallas to open the second half. Luka backing down White, now fades at the dotted line and connects on the first bucket of the third.
You know Luka Doncic, and I am confident Kyrie Irving are going to shoot it much better in the second half.
Well, we knew it was desperation time in Game 4. It is double desperation time here in the second half of Game 5. Tatum sends it to Holiday at the break of the three-point line. Feeds Tatum at the cup, and he jams it home. He's going to flirt maybe with a triple-double the way he authored assists in the first half. He's got 18 points, 5 boards, 9 assists for Tatum here in Game 5.
You telling me my MVP voting is becoming tougher?
It might be as Irving misses a three on top. Rebounded by Derek White. Many feel Jaylen Brown was edging Tatum for that MVP, the Bill Russell Award coming into Game 5. Tatum sizing up Gafford on the perimeter. 90 seconds into the third. Backs up, now dribbles inside the arc. Gets by Gafford, who reached in and fouled Tatum. Ball went careening away.
Too much dribbling, though. Again, we talked about what a great ISO team the Boston Celtics are. They walk that line between when do you ISO, when do you move the ball. They're such a good assist team. When the ball doesn't move, usually they struggle offensively.
Tatum will inbound from the side. Foul was on Daniel Gafford, his first. Into Holiday, flips it to the left wing, White. White gets a shot up for three and connects over Luka Doncic. Another triple for the Celtics, who lead 72-48.
Started 1 for 4. They're 10 for 18 since then, Kesty, from 3.
Kyrie Irving being booed mercilessly. Dribbles to the high post. Free throw line, bouncer to Gafford. A hand in the face from Holiday, who tried to defend. And a whistle and a foul against Holiday will be his second. Kyrie Irving getting set to trigger in from the near right side. Just 2 of 9 so far here in Game 5. Lifts it down low to Gafford, makes the catch and rocks it off the glass and in. Daniel Gafford from Kyrie Irving.
Good pass from out of bounds by Kyrie for his 6th assist.
22-point Boston lead, early third quarter. Jaylen Brown swings it left corner. Horford triggers a three and knocks it home. Boston, 11 of their last 19 from three-point land.
When they're raining down threes, there's not much you can do.
And the lead grows to 25. We got a Boston foul on the perimeter as Jaylen Brown trying to defend Luka Doncic. That 25-point lead is the biggest here in game number 5. And almost half of their games this year, PJ, in a dominant season for the Celtics. They have led by at least 20 and 50 of 101.
That's the 7 different Celtics have made threes again. 2 games ago, 7 of them made 2 or more threes.
Irving got a whistle as he was driving on Drew Holiday, and at the last second, he kind of threw his body toward the floor and flipped it toward the basket. Foul on Holiday is third. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. Kyrie Irving hearing the boos as he goes to the line and silences them with the first of 2 free throws. Alongside PJ Carlissimo, George Sedano, I'm Mark Kestisher, Kevin Winter, Monica McNutt, our studio crew, John Medani, the boss Pete Saccone in the building tonight, Al Rosenberg, Dave Sniff, our engineers.
Jesse, just to finish that thought, in game 1, 7 different Celtics made 2 or more threes in a game. First time it ever happened in finals history. They got a leg up on that tonight.
And a potential clincher looking for banner 18 as Kyrie Irving hits 2 free throws with 9.5 to go. We're in the third quarter. Boston 75, Dallas 52. Tatum has it front court, ranging toward the left, now cuts to the middle against Luka. Passes to Horford, baseline drive from the right. Lively tries to cut him off. Got the whistle. Horford flipped it up, nearly converted. As Lively, the rookie, fouled the 38-year-old. Horford will go to the line.
You know what, Al Horford either got hit in the head or in the mouth. He's wiping off his mouth with the front of his jersey. Watching a replay right now, he got hit in the, kind of in the chin by Derek Lively.
He swiped at the ball, and Horford was bringing up the ball, and that drove Lively's hand into his chin. Al Horford. We're talking about Tatum and Brown going for their first championship. Horford, it's the first of two. This is his 186th postseason game. Only Karl Malone's played more without a championship in 193. Al Horford has a chance to get his championship tonight.
And I think it's Gary Payton's record was who had waited the most games without winning.
And it was
a
like in the
championship.
80s, wasn't it?
He's shattering GP's record.
Second free throw miss. Ball ends up in the hands of Derek White. At a fresh 14, Brown finds the cutting. Holiday lays it up in it. Nifty pass by Holiday, or receiving the pass from Brown, and Jason Kidd calls for time.
Drew Holiday moves so well without the ball, and his teammates find him. They know that. They recognize it, and especially Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown always know where Drew Holiday is.
16 years ago tonight, the Celtics won their last championship in a 39-point blowout of the Lakers. Right now, Boston has a 26-point lead over Dallas, 9:10 to go, third quarter. Celtics 78, Mavericks 52. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
A leaked tape that led to one of the biggest scandals in sports and changed the NBA forever. A podcast that unearthed it all.
This is just like what 2014 was like. Like, there's a lot of wild stuff happening.
And now a Hulu docudrama.
TMZ was calling again and again and saying, we have a tape. Do you want to comment?
30 for 30 Podcasts presents The Sterling Affairs. Let's talk clip.
We reshot the scene, and I could barely watch it because it was so uncomfortable.
It was tough.
A companion podcast to the FX drama inspired by the award-winning reporting of Ramona Shelburne, one of ESPN's top NBA reporters, an LA native and someone who has been following the story from the moment it broke. Join Ramona as she sits down with the cast and crew of the show in spoiler-filled conversations and behind-the-scenes reaction to each episode.
Man, this is crazy, but these people live these lives every day. Donald Sterling, this was his lifestyle for a long time.
Listen to The Sterling Affairs. Let's talk clipped wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready for the 2024 U.S. Open Tennis Championships. Get ready for that championship vibe. Get ready for the sport's newest stars and New York's most spectacular show. Get ready to go all day, all night, and all the way up. The U.S. Open, August 26th through September 8th. Tickets on sale now at usopen.org. The U.S. Open, spectacular awaits.
I'm David Dennis Jr., hosting ESPN Daily today. Every weekday morning, we bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today, on ESPN Daily, Jerry West was a basketball icon on the court, in the front office, even inside the NBA logo. But his was a path fueled by turmoil he never shook free of. Jeremy Schaap helps us memorialize one of the most complicated and successful figures in the history of the sport. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. Game 5 NBA Finals Friday night. Drew Holiday and the Celtics found out why it's so hard to win a closeout game.
I don't know. Even though I've done it, you got to do it together as a team. Everybody has to be clicking and being again the more desperate team. So we just got to go back home. I think lock into tendencies, lock into the game plan, and I think we'll be okay.
Lock in is an operative word. Boston by 26, 9 to go in the third quarter. Mark Tessler, back to you.
Welcome back to Boston. 9:10 to go, third quarter, 78-52. Celtics leading Dallas. And this crowd is roaring once again, PJ, as it has virtually from the start. Dallas made a little first quarter run to get within one, but it's been all Celtics since.
Celtics haven't missed to start the second half, and quite obviously, Kesty, Dallas on very, very thin ice right now.
9 minutes to go, third quarter. Can the Mavericks settle down? Holding it is Kyrie Irving out at the left hash. 8 to shoot. Now bodies White. Gets beyond the arc. Launches for 3. Missed it. Rebounded by Horford. Kyrie Irving 1 for 6 from 3. 2 for 10 in Game 5. His struggles have been mighty here in the 3 games in Boston. Tatum with it at the top against Lively. Little Shutter fake, now drives down the lane and missed the layup. Rebounded by Doncic. Sends it all the way into the front court to Green. Josh Green drives through the lane, left to right. Finds Derrick Jones Jr. back to Green in the corner. Now to Doncic. Tough angle three is a miss. Rebound, though, comes to Green as he was driving in. He grabbed it and scored it.
The Dallas bench continues to be a bright spot, maybe the only one for the Mavericks.
Horford for three, no good out of the corner. Luka rebounds, 8 minutes to go in the third, 78-54, 24-point lead for the Celtics. Luka riding against Tatum, now backs up, missed another one and rebounded by White. Lost it momentarily.
3 straight misses from three by Luka and Kyrie.
They're 1 for 10 combined from three, and that comes off a terrible game 4 that they won. Here's Tatum swinging it out to Holiday. His three rattles out. Irving grabs the rebound, ends up on the deck. Thought he was being held on the left side. No whistle.
That could have been called for the being undercut.
Irving front court, backing down White, pushes him hard. Now spins and fades and scores. I think Kyrie was a little upset with Derek White there.
Yeah, and it looks like they've come out of the timeout, and we're going to get a steady diet of Luka and Kyrie right now.
7:17 to go in the third quarter. Crowd rising as one here in Boston. The 22-point Celtic lead, 7:10 to go in the third. Tatum rocking, Tatum driving, passes deflected by Luka, and a steal for Dallas. Rare turnover for the Celtics.
Again, a one-pass possession, though.
Luka beyond the arc, step back three, no good, long rebound, and Brown has it for the Celtics. Luka and Kyrie, 1 for 11 combined from distance. Holiday passes in the corner to Horford. Back up to the top, Jaylen Brown. Brown offers a three. No. Rebound offensive flying in that time was Drew Holiday.
One of the best offensive rebounding guards in the league.
Brown being ridden by Doncic and a foul on Luka. Drew Holiday, 7 rebounds here in the ballgame so far in Game 5, and now you'll hear another ovation as Kristaps Porzingis comes in replacing Al Horford. If nothing else, PJ, he has fired up the crowd here. KP didn't look like Games 1 and 2. Kristaps Porzingis early, and he's being bodied hard by Lively, and a whistle on the Duke rookie. As Kristaps Porzingis never had any freedom of movement, so Boston will trigger again from the left sideline.
The struggles continue for Luka and Kyrie. They were 6 for 18 in the first half. They're 2 for 7 so far here in the second half.
6:20 left here in the third. Holiday has it in play to Brown. Drives hard from the right. Brown now gets under the basket. Pushes on top to Tatum. Tatum guarded by Green. Rises into the clock. Ball pinballs out, and another Boston offensive rebound. White's got it. They work it around to Brown. Bouncing it down on the baseline to Holiday, who tried to wrap around, couldn't hit it from close range. Down floor, Irving on his horse late. Sends it over to a wide-open Green, and he buries a three right in front of the Celtic bench.
Unbelievable production from their bench. 21 bench points for Dallas so far. Starters not holding their own.
Boston was up 25, a 7-0 run now for the Mavericks. They trail 78-59. 5.5 left here in the third. Derek White standing dribble on the right hash mark. Kyrie Irving bent over in a defensive stance. Now White hits Tatum in the post. Outside they go to Holiday with 4. Rises, elbow jumper's good. Drew Holiday has 15.
How many times has he made the shot that stops a poor run from Boston?
He is such a difference maker, whether it was with the Bucks on their championship, Team USA gold medal. Here's Doncic getting deep. Got the whistle against Porzingis, and the bucket chance for 3 for Luka Doncic at 5:09 to go here in the third.
Luka and Kyrie unable to click from outside, but both of them now taking the ball repeatedly to the basket, trying to finish or at least get fouled in there.
Second foul on Porzingis. 21-point game. Boston leading. 5:09 to go, third quarter, and Doncic one free throw coming where he has struggled tonight.
Well, Celtics started 4 for 4 in the second half, Kesty. They're 1 for 7 since then. They've gone cold.
Allowing Dallas back into the game as Doncic completes the three-point play. Did Brown get hit there? Some friendly
He must
fire?
have. He's got these standing there, hands on his knees, bent over. Here's all right. He's going up, although Sam Hauser's waiting to report in. Could be for JB.
Taking off the cobwebs, 80-62. Dallas within 18 points. Tatum on the arc on the left. Spins, has Kyrie defending. Great bounce pass down low. Going up for the jam, and Lively able to block the jam attempt by Jaylen Brown. Here's Doncic driving. Puts it up. Porzingis gets in the way. Going the other way, 3-on-2. Tatum hard to the rim against Hardaway. No. And a whistle. Couldn't hear the whistle, but it was called before the Celtics coming down attempted to grab it. It's on Hardaway. 4:41 to go here in the third, and Jason Tatum going to the free throw line. Tatum with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. He had 12 assists earlier in this series in Game 2.
That is JT's 14th double-double. He's second in double-doubles in the playoffs. Luka Doncic is first with 15. JT now with 14.
If the finals ends tonight, your finals vote is growing more cloudy by the second.
Yeah, it is. It's getting
Good luck with that.
It's getting a little tougher.
Al Horford will come in for Kristaps Porzingis. You know, just the mere presence of Porzingis here in Boston, the games in Boston, has been worth all of the hours he has spent trying to rehab injuries as Tatum converts free throws. 82-62, Celtics by 20. 4.5 to go here in the third quarter in Game 5. Irving on the drive, lifts, short jumper, won't get the roll. Horford with the rebound. Out to Derek White.
Boston went cold at a tough time. Dallas can't make anything, but Boston hasn't quite yet put them away.
Here's Tatum at the top against Luka. Drives hard, goes right to the rack, missed the layup. Luka the rebound.
Both teams really struggling offensively.
There's Luka on his horse, getting by Horford. High off the window and in for Luka Doncic. And a timeout called by Joe Mazzulla as Dallas tries to whittle it down. It's an 18-point game. Boston still very much in command. Dallas trying to claw away.
And Boston trying to put them away, but they can't put the ball in the basket. So two teams struggling right now.
82-64. Celtics lead Dallas. 4:05 to go third quarter. Timeout here in Boston. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
One of the things that separates great players is knowing they're going to make it. Every once in a while, you see a guy who looks exactly the way you do. Rory McIlroy, who so many people were rooting for, the way he putted that ball, he putted it with the mindset of, boy, I hope this goes in. And that was the most painful thing in the world to see.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. Chris Carlin, Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Carlin versus Joe.
Does the big fella have a power rankings for donuts?
2 words, Krispy Kreme.
So number 1 is a glazed donut?
Yes.
All right, I'm just trying to keep in mind.
You know what? Stay out of this. Because if you don't understand the difference between Krispy Kreme and a glazed donut, then I'm going to question your Americanism.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, will Jason Tatum and the Celtics close out the series, or will the Mavs be able to force a Game 6? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Freddie and Harry.
I miss wearing your basketball shorts under your jeans. Look, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So you had your basketball shorts under your jeans because you never knew when the game was breaking out.
And I did it all the way up until my 4th year in the NFL. And my wife told me it was time for a transition. And Roddy White and the crew used to clown me. When I first got my tailor-made suits, I got them made with basketball shorts underneath them.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
A leaked tape that led to one of the biggest scandals in sports and changed the NBA forever. A a podcast that unearthed it all.
This is just like what 2014 was like. Like, there's a lot of wild stuff happening.
And now a Hulu docudrama.
TMZ was calling again and again and saying, we have a tape. Do you want to comment?
30 for 30 Podcast presents The Sterling Affairs. Let's talk clip.
We reshot the scene, and I could barely watch it because it was so uncomfortable.
It was tough.
A companion podcast to the FX drama inspired by the award-winning reporting of Ramona Shelburne, one of ESPN's top NBA reporters, an LA native and someone who has been following the story from the moment it broke. Join Ramona as she sits down with the cast and crew of the show in spoiler-filled conversations and behind-the-scenes reaction to each episode.
Man, this is crazy, but these people live these lives every day. Donald Sterling, this was his lifestyle for a long time.
Listen to The Sterling Affairs. Let's Talk Clipped wherever you get your podcasts.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. Game 5 NBA Finals exclusively here on ESPN Radio. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Boston by 18. This is the third game in this series where we had a 20-point lead or more at the half. First time in NBA Finals history, 3 games have featured a halftime of the margin of 20 or more. Boston's largest lead was 26. They lead by 18. Their offense has gone a little stagnant here in the third. Marquez is here. PJ Calissimo, George Sedano, back to you.
All right, let's check in, Kevin, behind that Dallas bench. Here's George.
Guys, Jason Kidd urging his team, guys, just get it under 15. The pressure is all on them.
Thank you, George. Well, we've been tracking the end of quarters. Boston has won the end of the first and the second, so we'll keep our eye here, PJ, with 4:05 to go in the third. Dallas needs to get something going here.
Well, they started off well. They're 7 for 14 in the quarter. Celtics are 5 for 13. They just have trouble putting the ball in the basket. They're getting pretty good looks, Kesty. It's just not going in. Luka quietly again has just got his 16th double-double of the playoffs. He leads all players.
Kyrie Irving on the bench here. Luka is in. Boston with it. Tatum and Brown both on the floor for the Celtics. Brown holding out on the left. Up top to White. Quick pass down into the post. Knocked away, but Horford chased it down. 7 to shoot. Now to Tatum, being bodied by Washington. Cross to the left. Spins, had it poked away out of bounds. Who touched it last? Zach Zarba says Dallas did. And only 1.9 to shoot here on the Boston inbound.
Al Horford inbounding. Oh, no, now they just switched it. Derek White is going to inbound. JT is standing right on the dotted line.
Someone's got to be bodying Sam Hauser in the corner. Looks like Exum will be the man.
Yeah, I think JT's going to... Oh, I thought he was going to screen Tim Hardaway. He's not. He's just looking for a lob pass over Washington.
White has the ball, baseline right. Ball overhead looking for Brown. Still nothing. 5-second count on. Gets it to Brown. Gets off a tough angle shot that nearly went. And they got the offensive rebound. Weak side Horford. Fresh 14 for Derek White now has it up top against Kleba. White crosses to the left. White on the drive. Stops in the high post. Pass to Brown. 3 to shoot. Brown puts it up. Short. Rebound. Another offensive rebound. Horford can't connect. Got it back. Missed again from point blank.
They cannot buy a basket. They were 5 for 13 coming out of the timeout and missed at least 3 shots that possession.
Tim Hardaway Jr., who was great in garbage time the other night, missing a 3 from on high. 3 minutes to go. Brown for 3. No. We got a loose ball foul underneath, and it's going to go against Boston. Horford was fighting down low for position and will come up with the foul, which will be his second. And they are over the limit, so in the bonus now, the Dallas Mavericks will walk to the other end, and Dante Exum will shoot a pair with 3:03 to go here in the third. I think Jason Kidd was looking for a little more spark than he's gotten tonight from Exum, who delivered in Dallas the other night as he hits the first of 2. Kyrie Irving waiting to check in. And I think also J. Kidd was hoping that Tim Hardaway hit 5 of 5 from three-point land in a non-competitive game in the fourth quarter. Maybe he could deliver. And Exum missing on the second free throw.
The rebound for Al Horford.
82-65, 17-point Boston lead. We have 2:50 to go in the third. Tatum at the top, stops, leans in, goes to Holiday, and Tatum gets it right back. Shot clock at 7. Tatum now dribbles on Exum into the high post to the mid post. Flips to Horford, 3 to shoot. Out to Hauser, contested 3, in and out, and this time Kleber rebounds.
5 for 19 for the Boston Celtics this quarter.
And Dallas takes some advantage here with 2.5 to go. Doncic, long 3, no good, online but short. And out of bounds it goes, and Luka's going to hear it from the sellout in Boston.
Kyrie back in for Dallas. Both teams missed opportunities. Dallas to get back into the game, Celtics to put it away. They're both struggling.
Remember, Luka didn't have much lift in Game 4 from distance, and he is 0 for 6 from 3 here tonight. Boston with it. Hauser drives inside the arc, 2 Euro steps, and puts it up and in from 12 feet away, right at the edge of the green painted area. 84-65, Celtics by 19 as we go under 2 minutes in the third. Josh Green, corner 3, no, rebounded by Brown. Dallas is 7 for 26 from three-point land here so far in Game 5. Brown moves to his left, lifts and connects on the jumper. From outside, Jaylen Brown hits.
37 points between the duo, Brown and Tatum.
Lead is back north of 20, and Green going for the dunk, got stuffed. Blocked shot by Boston. Here's Tatum on the other end. Finding Hal Horford. No, nice read in the passing lane. Luka Doncic with the deflection, and Doncic drives, slips it off the window, missed. Kleber, an offensive rebound. Luka says, Maxey, put the ball up. You're right by the rim. They work it around. A three-pointer missed by P.J. Washington. And Dallas has gone ice cold here late in the third, minutes ago.
This has not been an offensive quarter by any stretch by both teams.
86-65, 21-point lead Celtics. Winding down the third quarter. Brown with the drive. Luka cuts him off. Outside Tatum. Squares for 3. Jason missed it. Another offensive rebound as Holiday flies in. Holiday to Horford, and now Tatum at the top. Tatum's going to drive. Thought about a shot. Found Hauser. Corner 3. In and out. And Washington secures the board. 35 seconds to go here in the third. Dallas trailing by 21. Doncic driving, Hauser, free throw line, dotted line, leans in and scores on a shot off the window.
Luka Doncic doing everything he can to try and keep his team somewhat in touch, but they've only been able to shave 2 points off that halftime lead, Kesty.
Yeah, right now 19-point game, shot clock off, and Boston a chance at the last offering. 7 seconds to go in the third. Brown three-point line. Brown moves to his left. Jaylen sees the clock at 2. Jaylen, will he get a shot off? I think that came too late. Missed it anyway. And Brown did not get it off. But the Celtics, PJ, big lead as we head to the fourth quarter. And that 18th championship, 12 minutes away if they can hang on.
They're 12 minutes away despite a very, very lackluster quarter. That last possession typified Boston's offensive struggles throughout the third.
Boston 86. Dallas 67, 19-point lead for the Celts, headed to the fourth, leading 3 games to 1. This is Game 5 of the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
The Elle Duncan Show.
The Olympic team faces the All-Star team. And, of course, the underlying, is Caitlin Clark going to get snubbed? You leave her off the WNBA All-Star game, you're tripping, bruh. It could really be a revenge tour for Arike Gumbawale, who was like the actual snub on the Olympic roster.
I mean, you got top 5 scorers who are left off of Team USA.
I think this could be competitive and look chippy. I'm in.
You can find the Elle Duncan Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nothing but net. Good shots. Man, I miss playing basketball. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text BACK to 231-231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 231-231. That's BACK to
Would start here for Dallas if they could get going. 11 minutes to go. Doncic behind the back bounce pass. Here's a three on top. It's a miss by Derrick Jones Jr. And a one and done as Holiday has the rebound. That is 10 rebounds for Drew Holiday. Who, by the way, has had an outstanding series as well.
Exactly, and 24% three-point shooting for Dallas.
And a touch foul out on top against P.J. Washington. Trying to defend Derek White, and that is 2 quick fouls. We're not even 90 seconds into this fourth quarter. 2 team fouls against Dallas.
I think the referees sense it could get a little chippy, and they're trying to maintain control, but you need to do it on both ends.
Inbound Celtics. Porzingis has it on the right. Bounce to Brown. Free throw line. Over to Holiday. Repositions up the arc. Air ball on a three. Loose ball on the floor. White going for it. So is Jones. It's still loose. And the shot clock runs out of time. And it's a shot clock violation. And Derrick Jones Jr. might have got the worst of that one with bodies on the floor.
Yeah, he's laying against the stanchion. Kind of, looks like he's holding his leg. Now he's going to get up now. Dallas really having trouble coming up with defensive rebounds. Very similar to what Boston went through 3 nights ago in Dallas. Doesn't matter. They miss. They get another rebound. You see it in the field goal attempts. Boston has 74 field goal attempts already. Dallas only 63.
86-67 Celtics. Commanding lead. They were 1 win away from an 18th championship back in 2010 when they had a 3-2 series lead against the Lakers and lost games 6 and 7.
Derrick Jones Jr. limping noticeably.
He's got the ball now. He drives. Porzingis stuffs him. It's loose, and Tatum comes up with it. Jones still hobbling defensively.
He's hurting for sure.
Jaylen Brown works through the lane to the top. We're 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, 10 minutes to go. Celtics with a big lead and an offensive foul. They got Jaylen Brown that time up high. It's his 4th personal foul.
That was a DHO, a dribble handoff. We always talk about when you set a screen in a pick and roll, the ball handler has to wait until the screen is set. It's a lot harder in a dribble handoff because both guys are moving. And if you run over the defense, you're going to get the offensive call every time.
Limping Jones went to the bench. Josh Green is in for Dallas. Luka, right corner drive on the baseline. Stops. Defended by Porzingis. Passes out. 9 to shoot. Washington angle 3. No. Tipped by Luka. Loose ball underneath. Who touched it last? Boston did. It'll stay with the Mavericks at 9:38 to go.
Mavericks working. They're
it feels like
on the glass.
Slow,
they're on the
death.
floor, but they can't put the ball in the basket.
Dallas has missed 11 straight shots, and they're going to turn it over. Inbound White got a hand on it. It's loose in the backcourt. It won't be a turnover. Chased down by Washington. 6 to shoot. Up ahead, Kyrie. Tough 3. Missed from the left and rebounded by Drew Holiday. 12 straight misses for Dallas.
A dozen.
9:20 to go here in Game 5. Boston 86, Dallas 67.
So Mazzulla's clapping his hands. He doesn't like the fact that the ball's not moving.
Brown drives, dish on the dunker to Porzingis, who rocks the rim on a jam, and that brings him back to life here in Boston. The lead is 21. Timeout, Mavericks.
Luka Doncic got hit in the mouth. He's telling John Goble, the official, right now, but it was missed. I didn't see it either, but Luka was standing there holding his jaw, so someone got a hit in. It was Jaylen Brown on the pass. Yeah, yep. Exactly.
Timeout here in Boston. 9:08 to go. Boston 88, Dallas 67. The Celtics 9:08 away. Dallas hoping to make an epic comeback to somehow get this back to North Texas. Timeout. You're listening to the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio.
Do you think that we are watching the best version of Jason Tatum?
Yeah. You live in America or Brazil?
I live in Brazil.
Well, that's probably why you asked that question and none of the American ones did, because they look at the lens differently. America, nothing's ever good enough.
Okay, I don't need the perspective on life from a 35-year-old guy in his second year as a head coach. Everybody in America hates basketball.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
What I'm hearing a lot of people say is they should be grateful. She's bringing all this attention. She's bringing all this additional money, and that all of them will benefit from that. And all that is inarguably true. But there's never been a player who came into any team sport in my lifetime that has had this kind of impact. When Tiger Woods burst onto the scene and suddenly all of the attention was on him, there are to this day people who cover the sport saying, why do they keep showing every shot Tiger takes when he's not in contention? I want to see these leaders. And the obvious answer is the same reason that you would put Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team, because people want to see Tiger Woods whether he's in contention or not. This is a sport with a lot of great golfers and one celebrity. And that's what the WNBA is. The WNBA is a sport filled with great players, many of them, at least at this moment, better than Caitlin Clark. But she's a celebrity.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, will Jason Tatum and the Celtics close out the series, or will the Mavs be able to force a Game 6? It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The Baseball Tonight Podcast.
Kansas City Royals, who have a great anchor in their rotation in Cole Reagans, they're really interesting to me.
The Baseball Tonight Podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
ESPN and ESPN Plus.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. I want to thank all of you who logged on to our social media accounts at NBA on ESPN Radio to vote in the AutoZone in the Zone poll question for tonight's Game 5. You imagine committing 3 turnovers on your first 3 possessions of the fourth quarter, and yet you still lead the quarter 2-0? That's what happened for Boston. The lead right now back to 21. Kesty, PJ, George, back to you.
Yeah, we were commenting, Kev, those 3 turnovers, but Dallas is 0 for 6 from the field.
When the other team goes 0 for 6, even turnovers aren't that important.
The Boston Celtics have won 64 games during the regular year, and all the questions were, could they finish? Last year, got knocked out in the conference finals. 2 years ago, lost in the NBA finals to Golden State. They watched the Warriors celebrate that championship right here on the parquet of Boston. And now the Celtics are 9 minutes away.
Well, if they don't finish, this is going to be one of the most spectacular comebacks of all time.
Dallas down 21. Doncic out of the timeout. Passes to Irving, but a struggle for both. Over to Luka. Contested 3 is good for Luka Doncic with 8:45 left.
That could have been a baker's dozen of misses. Instead, Luka knocks a 3 down.
He was 0 for 6 from 3 before that make. 17-point game, 88-70. Boston in possession, 8.5 to go. Tatum fires it to Porzingis on the left, back to Jason. Thought about a 3, ball overhead, 4 to shoot. Goes to White, contested 3 is good. Derek White hitting a late clock 3 to restore the lead to 21. How many triples has Derek White come up with in this postseason run? Here's Luka driving. Luka offering right at the 10, finger rolls it in.
Luka Doncic with 5 quick points. Keep looking at Kyrie and Luka's totals, Kesty. They're both 1 for 7 from 3.
91-72 in what could be a season-ending game for Dallas. Here's Tatum down deep. Got the whistle, got the bucket. Jason Tatum able to thread it past the long arms of Derek Lively. And with 7:52 to go, the lead's at 21 and a chance for one more. That is 5 fouls on the rookie Lively. Jason Tatum, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists.
2 steals.
And he converts on the free throw. Look, they just won a championship. But down the road, who's the finals MVP? That's going to be a lot of hot air discussed. As Tatum and Brown both looking for a title as Kyrie Irving buries a 3 with 7:40 to go in the game. 94-75. Dallas still trails by 19.
Well, Dallas cannot afford to trade baskets. Boston can. I know Joe Mazzulla doesn't want them to do that, but they can afford it. Dallas has got to get stops.
Here's Tatum against Hardaway. Takes him into the lane. Stops, pivots, fires. Off the rim, backboard and in. Jason Tatum has the point total up to 23. And the lead is 21 once again for the Celts. Interior pass. Poked away by Jaylen Brown, coming up with a defensive play.
Another Dallas turnover.
You could sense that Boston could finish them off here with 7 minutes to go. Crowd rises. Here's Tatum being worked by Hardaway. Step back 3 on its way. No good. Long rebound to Doncic. 6:45 to go. Luka to half court. Passes ahead to Kyrie. Now Josh Green has a wide open 3. Missed it. Rebound in the corner. Saved by Kyrie, who fires a 3. No good. Brown's got the rebound. Jalen's going to drive up floor against Hardaway. Got the whistle. And Hardaway smartly able to keep a hand on that ball to keep Brown from continuation.
Jaylen Brown made up his mind before he crossed half court that he was going all the way to the rim, and no one was able to get in front of him.
6:31 to go, fourth quarter, game 5 of the NBA Finals here on ESPN Radio. Celtics big lead up 21, 96-75 on the Mavericks. Well, they were chanting MVP for Jason Tatum, and now they're chanting MVP for Jaylen Brown as he hits the first of 2.
I made a point of calling Tim Frank.
Can't split the vote, right? Or
no,
can you?
I said, can I vote for 2? He said, no, absolutely not.
There's 9 votes.
One or the other.
There will be no tie. Now remember, Jaylen Brown won the conference finals vote 5-4 over Tatum.
And I voted for Tatum. I was one of the 4 voting for Jason Tatum.
Brown hits the free throws. She's got 19. The lead is 23, 98-75 Boston. Mavs with it, 6:20 to go, and time is no longer their friend. Doncic rocks back. 3 is good from the right. Lead is at 20 after that Doncic triple. Boston 98, Dallas 78, 6:10 to go. And the Celtics loving fans here in the Garden. That clock can't move fast enough. They're ready to party on Causeway Street, the North End and beyond.
Review that. They only gave him 2 points,
Did they give him 2?
I think.
Here's a 3 for Brown, no good. Green can't get the rebound, and Holiday tried to save it in the corner but couldn't get there in time. The official scoring showed a 26-footer by Luka.
Yeah.
Who's got 26 points and 12 rebounds.
There we go. 2 for 8 for Luka. Yep.
98-78, 20-point game, 5:47 to play. Lively and Green headed to the bench. Maxi Kleber, P.J. Washington back in for Dallas.
Boston's gone cold from 3, but they're still at 36%. Dallas actually made a couple in a row, and they're only at 29%.
Luka front court. Luka dribbling 3-point line. Works his way to the top. Contested 3 on its way. High off the rim, no good. Brown was falling toward out of bounds, but somehow saved it right in front of the Boston bench.
Luka has 15 of the last 19 Maverick points, Cash.
5:22 to go. Desperation time for Dallas, and Luka trying to take over, but still down 20. Here's Tatum, backs up on Luka. Now drives 3-point line, tries to get by him into a double team. Able to force it up and in. Oh, Jason Tatum able to use the muscle that time to score, and he's got 27. Celtics hit the century mark in a 22-point lead, and a turnover. Dallas on a pass to the left side, picked off by Derek White. 4:50 to go, and they could taste the champagne here at TD Garden. Tatum working against Washington, dribbling out beyond the arc. Now drives inside, hangs off the glass and in. Jason Tatum taking control here in the fourth quarter. He's got 29. The lead has ballooned to 24. Timeout, Dallas.
Jason Tatum on his way back to the Boston bench, encouraging the crowd to stand up. They don't need much encouragement right now, Kesty.
Timeout on the floor. Jason Tatum. And the Boston Celtics are 4:39 away from a championship, leading Dallas 102-78. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
It says a lot about the Los Angeles Lakers that you are willing to put the keys to this kingdom in the hands of someone that's never been a head coach before at any level. And that's not diminishing or demeaning J.J. Redick and his basketball acumen. But that Laker mystique is now a myth, and it's been a myth for a long, long time because they don't know who they are.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Doors!
Let's go.
FX is the bear.
What's this?
They're non-negotiables. That's how restaurants at the highest level operate.
These are the scribblings of a madman.
The Emmy Award-winning The Bear returns.
What's with the menu change? Every day?
It's kind of Banana Town.
Why are you doing this?
So they can see what we're capable of.
Who's they?
FX is The Bear. All new episodes streaming June 27th. Only on Hulu.
I'm David Dennis Jr., hosting ESPN Daily today. Every weekday morning, we bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today, on ESPN Daily, Jerry West was a basketball icon on the court, in the front office, even inside the NBA logo. But his was a path fueled by turmoil he never shook free of. Jeremy Schaap helps us memorialize one of the most complicated and successful figures in the history of the sport. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
The Dominique Foxworth Show.
What does it tell you that Joe Burrow, in the prime of his career, the window's open as long as I'm here, is thinking about his football mortality?
This is a shocking quote to start with, obviously. Quarterbacks are really well media trained, and they understand that everything they say becomes a story. Like, at this point in his career, saying that he considered his football mortality is kind of a scary thing to put on the table.
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show, anywhere you get your podcast.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. 4:39 to go in the fourth quarter. It's a 24-point Boston lead. Jason Tatum trying to put a stamp on an MVP performance for the series. 9 points in the fourth quarter. Tatum takeover, 29 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. Boston by 24. Mark Testishire, PJ Calissimo, George Sedano. Back to you for the final 4:39.
Yeah, Tatum, the 9 of the last 11 for Boston. And behind that bench right now, let's check in with George.
Kesty, PJ, in the Boston bench, the smiles were starting to crack through. Al Horford had an emphatic plea to his team about the way they were playing, encouraging them to continue that and finish it off. Jason Tatum looking around and saying, "You guys tired? I'm not tired. You tired?"
Greatest night of their lives. If they can finish it off. They have waited a long time. They've gone through all the growth pains. The 2-1 lead in the finals 2 years ago, losing to the Golden State Warriors in that great dynasty. And now a chance to get their first championship. 4.5 minutes away. Dallas with possession. Luka out of the timeout. He thought he got tripped by Brown. He's down. It's a turnover. Other end, it's Brown down low. Got pushed. No foul. Missed the shot. And then Tatum on the rebound got fouled. A loose ball foul on Dallas. And Luka is limping.
I'm thinking he slipped because he wasn't complaining for a foul call on JB. I'd like to see the replay. We're going to see it right now.
We'll describe it to you.
They both slipped.
I see the
slipped
fake.
On the same spot.
Yeah, the fake, Luka's fake forced Brown to slip, and then Luka saw the opening and he tried to explode and slipped.
Don't know what it was. Somebody must have been on their back at that spot. They both slipped within a 1-foot area of the floor, the parquet, I should say.
First free throw for Jason Tatum is good. Tatum has a 30-point Game 5. We were just tallying up the numbers. He's got more points than Jaylen Brown now. He's got more rebounds, and he has had way more assists than JB. He may have had the big game he needed to get the Finals MVP.
I'll tell you what, if ever there were two deserving of co-MVPs, it would be Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But the way it is structured, you can only vote for one, and they have 9 voters. That's not by accident. They do not want a tie.
Tatum has 31 off the made free throws. Luka drives. They let him go, and he lays it in. Still Boston leads 104-80. 24-point Celtic lead, and we are under 4 minutes to play here in Game 5.
Luka again keeps that string going. He's the only one scoring right now for Dallas.
Tatum will use the clock. Now dribbles to his right. Inside the arc. Pass across to Brown. 5 to shoot. Jaylen on the drive through a double layup. Hangs on the rim. There was a foul called. Ball falls off the rim, and now Jaylen Brown will go to the free throw line. The Boston Celtics, PJ, won their first 11 titles in an amazing 13-year stretch from 1957 to 1969. Then they won 5 in a 13-year period from 74 to 86. And they've been out in the desert since 1986. They had the 2008 championship, and now they're 340 away here in 2024.
Kesty, when you and I were talking, I mean, championships, there's nobody that compares. It's been 16 years, but there will be 18 of them hung up there. No one's... LA's got 17. These two have just owned it, these two franchises. But you and I were talking today. This is Dallas's 19th time in the playoffs in the past 20 years.
That's right.
San Antonio's been in 19 times in the past 24 years. Boston's been in 20. Yep. These two teams are the two teams that have been here.
As Kyrie Irving drains a 3 from up high, a rare triple for Irving. It is 106-83. Still a 17-point lead. And a steal. Doncic takes it away from Holiday. 3:14 to go. Holiday, or rather Doncic down low, feeds Washington right at the cup for the basket. And Joe Mazzulla is going to call a timeout here, get his team assembled with 3:10 to go as the Dallas Mavericks trail this one 106-85.
They've been hovering right around that 21-point margin. That's what they had at the half. That's what they have right now. The biggest lead has been 26, but right around 20 is where it's staying right now.
Let's give you our attendance tracker here at TD Garden. Another sellout. 19,156. It's brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Get great deals on the hottest tickets. Experience it live. So many from Massachusetts went down to Dallas, paid the big bucks, and saw an absolute Dallas beatdown of Boston. Some folks paid, on average, of $2,000 to get in here tonight, and there will be a party. We were told that the restaurants on Causeway Street, they had to paper up the windows in the brown butcher's paper so that fans wouldn't come down and watch the game through the glass.
They just didn't want a big crowd
There'll be a heavy police
outside,
presence out there as the Celtics are 3:10 away, right now leading by 21 points.
Our producer, John Medani's given us so many stats to look up and so many things that these players have accomplished. Luka's got his 12th straight 25-point game in the playoffs, but he's knocking on the door of another 30-pointer, which would be his 11th in 22 playoff games.
We're going to come back to live action here, and as we get closer in the final 3:10 with Boston leading by 21, I want to talk about the guy standing in front of us, Joe Mazzulla, 35 years of age. He won't be 36 till the end of the month. He was a Division II head coach just 6 years ago at the age of 29, and he's 3 minutes away from his first championship.
He's 26-12, about to be 27-12 in playoff games in 2 years, Kesty. Everybody wants to talk about this year. Before we talk about that, he had an excellent job last year, finding out a week before the season started, stepping in for Ime Udoka with a staff that was not his hires, and he did an exceptional job. He's taken that 3 levels higher this year, what he's done with this Boston Celtic team. This is one of the best seasons in Boston Celtic history. That should say enough right there.
We had a wild miss by Tatum on one end, and then an out-of-bounds play on the other end that I think the Celtics may challenge here. Are we going to get the green light special with 2:37 to go here in Game 5?
Well, Zach Zarba's walking over here. They haven't lit the lamp yet, but I think Zach's going to tell us on the microphone.
Saw some twirling of
ruling
the
on the floor is Dallas basketball. Boston's challenging the ruling.
There you go. So they will not leave their challenge in their pocket with a 21-point lead. 106-85 Boston with 2:37 left.
Joe Mazzulla, the job that he has done, this young guy thrust into this situation, what he's done in 2 years already is remarkable. But this year, he's shattered so many Boston Celtic records. And this team they love the way he pushes them. They love the way he keeps a very calm demeanor at all times. But when it's appropriate, he gets on them and they respond. Hard to overstate the job that Joe Mazzulla has done with the Boston Celtics.
Got to go back a couple generations. Older Celtics fans will remember Bill Russell was a player coach with Boston, and he was the youngest Mazzulla head coach to the finals since Bill Russell. And I think we're going to get Zach Zarba here on this out of bounds.
After review, the ruling on the floor has been overturned to Boston basketball. It's a successful challenge. They retain the right to challenge.
Everything going Boston's way tonight. They'll retain their challenge. And we'll also talk Brad Stevens tonight as well, as Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum have a big hug. I'm assuming that Irving's going to be coming out of the ballgame soon here.
He's offering congratulations to some former teammate. Yeah,
Jason Kidd's going to wave the white flag here. Classy move by Kyrie. I know he's going to hear it from the crowd. He just went and hugged all the players on the floor. He hugged some of the Celtics on their bench, just gave Joe Mazzulla a hug, and now he's going to walk over toward the Dallas sideline.
Kyrie Irving has been on both sides of this situation, so he knows very, very well. And again, not like he wasn't a good player when he was in Boston.
2.5 minutes to go. 106-85. Celtics on the verge of a 5-game series win. Brown contested at the rim. Shot is loose. Derek White comes up with it with 9 to shoot. How many times has Boston had extra possessions? White for 3, missed it short. Ball is out of bounds. It will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Brad Stevens, he's kind of gone to the shadows, if you will, and he's made all the important decisions. First of all, to go to Joe Mazzulla. Second of all, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis. And third of all, acquiring Drew Holiday after the Milwaukee Bucks decided to go for Damian Lillard as Jaden Hardy gets fouled on the other end. And with 2:02 to go in Boston on the verge of a championship, this win, PJ, tonight in Game 5, the Celtics will be 35-1 this year when Drew Holiday scores at least 14 points. The only loss was to the Pacers on January 8th. But having Drew Holiday come over like a week before training camp started, and they put the pieces together, and Brad Stevens did a tremendous job.
They do pretty good with these 1 week before additions. First guy coming out, Al Horford.
38 years of age. His 186th postseason game. Only Karl Malone played more without winning a title. Malone went 193, but Al Horford's going to get his championship to go with his 2 college titles.
And the previous record was Gary Payton at 152 before winning a championship.
Hardy hit the second free throw, 20-point game, 106-86 in favor of Boston, and Joe Mazzulla is going to systematically get all his stars out of the game at the next dead ball.
Put Peyton Pritchard in. Is he going to make another half-court 3, Kesty?
He's had a very efficient night tonight. Here's Tatum, crossover 3, no good. 90 seconds to go, and Luke Cornett taps it out. Boston keeps it with 90 seconds left here in Game 5. All Celtics. 130 away from championship number 18. Brown dribbling between the legs. Brown driving, late clock, didn't get it off. It's a shot clock violation. And now we'll have a timeout, and the Stars will come out of the game and get a big hand. Jaylen Brown heading out. He'll get a big hand here as we pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the 2024 NBA Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed. Jason Tatum comes out to a big hand. Jaylen Brown comes out to a big hand. They're all 1:16 away from sizing up that ring finger and getting their first championship. Here's Hardy for Dallas, fading away and hitting with 1:09 to go. Boston still leads at 106-88.
They may have to take a foul to get Drew Holiday out of here, Kesty, and Derek White, the all-defensive second-team backcourt.
So many times, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the media pitting them apart. Right now, they're in a hug. There were talks about perhaps them being traded at different times, and now they're hugging just 45 seconds away from their first NBA championship.
They're going to have to take a foul.
42 seconds to go. We'll see if Boston does. Luke Cornett, and there's the foul as Olivier Maxence Prosper was driving. 38.9 seconds to go. Jason Tatum, I think, breaking down over on the bench. A lot of emotion here. Al Horford trying to wrap him up and let him know this is what you've worked for all these years. Joe Mazzulla hugging Drew Holiday as he comes out of the game. Jason's young son, Deuce, right behind the bench as well with 38 seconds to go in the game. 106-88 Boston. Derek White coming out of the game to a big ovation as well. And we just wind down the clock here at TD Garden. Peyton Pritchard, who authored a end of halftime three, sends it outside to Hauser for three, in and out. And now the shot clock is off, and Dallas has it with 18 seconds to go. 106-88, Boston leading Dallas. They're all on their feet here at the Garden. The coaches shake hands, Joe Mazzulla and Jason Kidd. The final 4 seconds tick away. Get ready to raise an 18th banner, Boston. The Celtics are once again the winningest franchise in the history of the NBA. It's an 18th title for the Celtics, the 2024 NBA champions. The green and white confetti falling now as the Boston Celtics defeat the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum finally have their championship. And PJ, light up a cigar for red. The Celtics are once again the world champs.
Well, so many people, Celtic believers, felt it was inevitable. A lot of other naysayers said, well, they played in the East. It's going to be a little bit different. These powerhouses coming out of the West. There was never any doubt throughout the playoffs, throughout this 16-3 run by the Boston Celtics, that they were for the entire year, and they are right now, the best basketball team in the NBA, and they are deservedly the NBA champions.
That was a great point you made at 16-3. The record books and the historians and the sports writers and sports talkers will all decide where this team stands in the history of the NBA. The one thing you've said many times during this run, it's not Jason Tatum, it's not Jaylen Brown, it is a team, and it's both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. What Brad Stevens built this year was tremendous, and from night one to the ending night of the NBA season, the Boston Celtics were the best team by far in the NBA.
They were, and Kesty, you make a great point, because they were the best team on both ends. They were, however you want to rate them, 1, 2, 3 offense, 1, 2, 3 defense, all during the year, early, late, post-All-Star, all throughout the playoffs. They were a complete team. They rebound. They're an excellent passing team. They share the ball. He didn't go deep into his bench, Joe Mazzulla, but when he did, don't forget, KP was hurt for a lot, so they played 8 players all the time. Al Horford started tonight off that bench. You had Kristaps Porzingis, you had Peyton Pritchard, you had Sam Hauser. Again, every time that Joe Mazzulla made a move, it seemed to be the appropriate decision.
The stage is being built in front of us. We will have the ceremony for you. Lisa Salters of ABC will be handling that. We'll have a post-game interview for you with George Sedano momentarily. I could see Adam Silver, the commissioner. There was a moment there we couldn't see anything in here. It was a blizzard of green and white.
Large confetti.
Watching Jason Tatum hugging his son, his family, Al Horford holding his 2 kids, and his father, Tito, who is on every road trip, at every home game, and Joe Mazzulla, who's had such a history here. I know his dad passed and would have loved to have seen this moment. The Rhode Island kid who got the nod right before last season is an NBA championship head coach at age 35.
Yeah, just incredible. And Kestia, if you'll allow me to go one, Dallas, we talked about Jason Tatum leading in so many categories. Luka Doncic for the playoffs, number 1, points, rebounds, assists, steals, 3-point field goals, free throws, defensive rebounds, yes, turnovers, double-doubles, and triple-doubles. That is just one amazing performance. Second player ever to lead in points, rebounds, and assists. Nikola Jokic did it last year throughout the playoffs, but Luka threw in 5 or 6 other categories this year. An incredible individual performance by Luka Doncic.
The West is so competitive. You don't know if you're getting back, but you say this is a learning opportunity for Luka, just like Brown and Tatum 2 years ago had to learn the disappointment last year, knocked out in the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Finals after nearly rallying from down 3 games to none. But the Celtics came back with a vengeance this year. They won their first 5 games. They were 11-2 early, 20-5 after 25 games, 36-6, 48-12. We did a number of games where we said, This is great January 10th. This is great February 1st. It's all going to count in April, May, and June. And they get it done here tonight.
Yeah, and Kesty, I'm looking at the roster now. We talked about Al Horford is not a young guy, but I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good 17th season Mr. Horford just had. The only other player double-digit years is Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday looks anything but like he's getting old. He's going to be heading to Paris with Jason Tatum to try and win his 2nd gold medal. This Boston Celtic team is not going away. We talked about Brad Stevens, the NBA Exec of the Year. Truly does not. He doesn't want the credit, but he doesn't get enough credit for the job he did putting this roster together.
You have these outstanding black T-shirts with gold lettering, 2024 NBA champion. The Larry O'Brien trophy is on those T-shirts. I just saw Larry O making his way up to the stage with his handler. As it's been a long wait here in Boston. 2008 to 2024, 16 years to the day since they beat the Lakers in a Game 7 rout. This was a Game 5, I'll call it a rout, at 106-88. Boston with the win.
Sesty, think about what you're saying. It's been 16 years for their 18th title. Other teams are going, what is he talking about? It's their 18th NBA championship.
Well, we're watching the scenes outside, and outside of Boston, flooded with folks along Causeway Street. As we check in now with George Sedano.
Jaylen Brown, you're a champion. How does it feel?
I've been a champ, but it feels great. It feels great to...
Now, you guys have been through so much, so many ups and downs. You've documented, you've talked about. How did those moments harden you and help you get to this point now?
Just everything, all the different experiences, man. It just make you tough. So I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful.
You took on the toughest assignment for them defensively, Luka Doncic. What was the mindset you needed to get into that matchup?
Whatever I need for my team to win, whatever. You know what I mean? I picked them up full, did whatever I had to do. So I'm happy we just got the win.
If you were voted the MVP, how would you feel about that?
It don't even matter, man. I'm just grateful that we won, man. I'm already a winner. We a winner. That's all that matters.
You are definitely a winner. Congratulations and thank you.
Appreciate it.
Guys, back to you.
All right, George, congratulations to Jaylen Brown, whose record $300 million extension starts next year. Jason Tatum's looking at a $315 million extension perhaps this summer. Derek White, we'll see. You know, he might have a contract extension coming. It's going to be a very expensive team. already signed to a contract extension, Drew Holiday at $135 million.
Yeah, well, I think Wick Grossbeck and Pagliucci, if they keep this team together, the wait for 19 is not going to be as long as the wait was for 18.
You smell the cigar smoke?
I certainly
Red
do.
Auerbach would light one right now. John Medani, our producer, is the king of that scent, so he would know. As the Celtics have made their way up to the stage, the Larry O'Brien Trophy is up there. The Commissioner, Adam Silver, is up there. Lisa Salters will be handling everything. We'll get it to her in just a minute. ABC television right now is showing the Celtics titles throughout the years. We told you those banners began in 1957 through the dominant years where they won 8 in a row. Nobody's going to break that record, right? 11 titles in 13 years, 5 in the next 13-year period. They had to wait 22 to get the 2008 championship and a 16-year wait until these 2024 NBA champion Boston Celtics, who take out Dallas in 5 games. And by the way, went wire to wire here in this deciding 5th game.
Yeah, Castine again. This year was their 6th Eastern Conference final in 8 years. It's not like they went away. They've been knocking on the door. They finally busted it down this year. They have, without a shadow of a doubt, the best team in the NBA from day one.
Let's send it over to Eddie Palladino, the PA voice.
Trophy and the 2024 Bill Russell NBA Finals Most Valuable Player. Please welcome ABC's Lisa Salters.
Thank you. Joined by Boston Celtics owner Wick Grossbeck, our managing partner.